Greg Secker, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and master trader, made it his personal mission to bring Forex education to the masses. Having become one of the youngest vice presidents in banking history and helping pioneer the world's first online Forex trading systems, Greg retired a multimillionaire.
Whilst I was working at Thomas Cook Financial Services back in around 1997, I helped develop one of the very first real-time online Forex platforms. It was called Virtual Trading Desk. By 1999, I was a vice president at Mellon Financial Corporation in Pittsburgh, USA, learning from some of the world's most accomplished traders.
Greg slowly slipped into a role, helping develop systems to support the traders automate their strategies.
It was through osmosis, really. I was there in the role of ensuring the systems they used didn't fail at the very worst time. But I was just more fascinated with what they were doing. And as time went on, I grew friendly with them, learned as much as I could, and absorbed two key pieces of information: what to do and when to do it.
It wasn't long before the entrepreneurial spirit in him realized that this information could be taught easily to ordinary people within a structured education program he would go on to develop. Greg left Mellon Financial and launched Learn to Trade. Within just 3 months, the first office opened in London, teaching everyday people the same institutional trading strategies once reserved for the few. As Learn to Trade expanded across the world, one name became instrumental in this global success: Gurdas Singh Sidhu. Over the past 18 years, Gurdas has worked hand in hand with Greg, helping build trading floors from London to Johannesburg and Sydney, and shaping the experiences of thousands of new traders.
The best advice I ever got came from Sir Richard Branson, and that was, you must surround yourself with people who are better than you. And that's exactly what I've done. I've kept incredible talents in my orbit like Jitan, Emmanuel, and of course Gurdas. Gurdas is my head trader, incredible mentor, and visionary leader who embodies the very best of our vision.
At Learn to Trade, private individuals are taught to spot buying and selling opportunities in both rising and falling markets, and are mentored one-on-one on real trading floors by real traders like Gurdas, ensuring theory is transformed into real-world success. Greg's vision didn't stop there. Learn to Trade developed Smart Charts, cutting-edge trading software built by traders for traders.
When we came up with Smart Charts, it wasn't dreamed up in some lab. It was developed right here by real traders.
It's packed with Greg's battle-tested strategies, complete with an AI-powered scanning system and real-time feedback on your trading performance. But perhaps Greg's proudest achievement is the Greg Secker Foundation, driven by a belief that if you have the power to help, you must. Greg and his team have rebuilt entire communities. In 2013, following Typhoon Haiyan's devastation in the Philippines, Greg's foundation built a brand new village. 100 homes, structurally reinforced to withstand future storms.
We have grown a lot over the years, but I've always encouraged my team to see each other as kind of a large family. But once that village was completed and all the families had the keys to their new homes, we became a family that spanned the entire globe. I couldn't have been prouder of what we all achieved together. More than 8 years on, the village still stands strong, protecting its people from future typhoons, and life here is flourishing.
Trading the currency markets is no longer reserved for the elite. If you want to develop a skill set that empowers you to make smarter financial decisions, then you've come to the right place to start.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our live trading event today. My name is Gurdas Singh Sidhu. I'm a currencies, stocks, commodities, crypto trader. I've been in the markets now for just over 19 years. And I must say, I'm very excited to be given the opportunity to come and speak today, because as I'm sure my colleagues have already mentioned, I don't normally get the pleasure of doing these workshops, but I've been asked by our CEO, Greg Secker, to actually do today's event for quite a special reason. So today's workshop is a little bit different compared to what we normally do. We are using the fact we're approaching a very exciting time of the year as an opportunity to launch a brand new project, and I've got a very exciting company announcement to share with you a little bit later on today. Now, before I get stuck into the strategies, let me do a quick visual and sound check. Just make sure you can hear me and see me clearly. So if you can give me a quick hello in the chat box. Let me know if they're, by the way, when I look over here, this is where I can see all of the chat comments. Okay, you can't see each other's comments, but me and my team can see all of yours. So just to familiarize yourself with the Zoom software, let me just turn this light on. Okay, just to familiarize yourself, we're using Zoom. Okay, so there should be a chat box. There we go. Let's do that. There we go. All right, there should be a chat box somewhere, chat button somewhere in your Zoom software. And when I look over here, this is where I can see all of your comments. So who we got here today? We got Jonathan Walker, we got Ian, we got Rob, we got Sylvia, we got Dixon, we got Alan Morris, we got Paul Davies, we got Giovanni, we got David White, we got Ursula, we got Shabir Ahmed, Nawal, we got Mal. I'm gonna struggle with this one. Mal Gozarata. Did I pronounce that okay? We've got Stuart Gates, Shanika, we've got Ibra, we've got Jonathan Walker, Henry, Sharon, we've got Ramsbrath, Madiha, Mikolai, Michael, Masach, Nick, Mark, Anne, Alina. I wish I could rule all of your names, okay? But just let you know, there is 288 of you in this workshop right now. Okay, that is phenomenal. Okay, how's it going, Derek? And also, let me just check to see if there's a delay in communication. Can you let me know what town or city you're tuning in from? Okay, if you're outside of the UK, let me know what glamorous location you're tuning in from. Okay, okay, so locations are coming through very quickly. So either that means my upload speed is very good, or you're very fast at typing. I'm just going to adjust my webcam settings slightly there. Perfect. All right. Let's have a look. Let me scroll up. Okay. Okay. We've got Cardiff, London, Manchester, Bristol, Ashby de la Zouche. Okay, I think you sent an email to me earlier this week. Well, there's probably more than one person. Ashby de la Zouche. We've got Telford, Stockport, Birmingham, Ellesmere Port, the Netherlands. Okay, so we got someone from Europe here today. We've got Leeds, East London, Bideford, Bradford, Cornwall, Gloucester, Basildon, Grangemouth. We've got Swaffham in Norfolk. We've got Harlow, Glasgow, Newcastle upon Tyne, Birmingham, Crayford, Winchester, but travelling in Amsterdam, London, Trinity. We've got Newcastle. We've got Hawkhurst, Cranbrook in Kent, Milton Keynes, Wrexham, Bristol, Brighton. Okay, I think we've got pretty much the whole of the UK covered there. So obviously that is going to be our method of communication. Okay, today's going to be a live interactive workshop. Okay, by the way, you guys are aware that this is a live event, right? We don't do pre-recorded workshops. Okay, this is live. Okay, people say, oh, is that a recording? Okay, no, this is a live event. Okay, in fact, here is today's newspaper. Okay, so what have we got? This is the Times, and this is the headlines of today's Times newspaper. Okay, so what have we got here? We got breakthrough in the Strait. So we got hopes for US-Iran deal and waterway reopens as Israel agrees to halt strikes on Hezbollah. Okay, and also what else have we got here? Top official did nothing wrong over Mandelson, and of course inside the Femisphere, if you want to know about the women who only date high-value men, there's also a section in there for that as well. And there you go. Look at the date. Where's the date here? Right in the middle. Should be able to see that. Today is the 18th of April. Okay. So yeah, just want you to be aware that this is not a pre-recorded workshop. Is everyone happy with that? Let me know with a yes in the chat box. Okay, awesome stuff. And also, how I want to run today is really interactive. Okay, I want you to ask questions. I want you to get stuck in. Okay, I'm going to teach you some pretty amazing trading strategies, by the way. So, do you mind if I get quite technical? Okay, hopefully you've got a notepad and pen. Okay, I'm going to teach you some pretty amazing things, and I want you to get stuck in. I'll be checking in with you as well, so guys. What I just said there, does that make sense? Yes or no? When I ask those sort of questions, just type in a little yes or no. It gives me an indication that you guys will follow along. Don't just sit like this today, okay? Because if you do that, I won't understand if you're understanding what I'm going through. So let's do a little test run, okay? Are you guys up for learning some pretty amazing strategies that you can start implementing straight away within the next few hours? Yes or no? Fantastic. Okay, that is exactly the kind of response that I'm looking for throughout the whole event. And we now have 296 of you in this workshop right now. Okay, that's a phenomenal turnout. Right, so let's go through an agenda, what we're going to do today. So notepads and pens ready, please. So I'm going to cover a couple of pretty amazing strategies. It's a very lovely Saturday morning, 18th of April. I'm going to go through two of my favorite strategies. Okay, the first one, please write this down, is the breakfast breakout. Okay, it's one of the first strategies that I was taught 19 years ago. Great one for you to begin with. Okay, works brilliantly on the stock indices and the commodities market. We've done phenomenally well with the breakfast breakout this week. Okay, and also the T wave, which works wonderfully on the currency market. Okay, what you find is when one market is quiet, is typically because the other market is moving more so. Okay, so one market's quiet, money flows in and out of different asset classes. Okay, so it's good to have a bit of diversification there, so you have a couple of strategies in your toolkit. Okay, show you how they work. I'm also going to show you some real world examples. Would you guys be interested to hear from some of my current and past students? Yes or no? Okay, good. I thought I'd make it a little bit insightful. Over the last 23 years now, Learn to Trade has taught over 500,000 people around the world. So we're now the largest trader coaching company in the planet. Okay. However, every single person that you're going to hear from and see today are all students who I've personally helped mentor myself. Okay. So any examples that I'm going to use, they're all students of mine. Okay, so I know the stories, I know the backgrounds. You can ask me questions about them as well. Okay, so I'll show you exactly what they're getting up to, and also I'm going to show you these strategies live in action. Are you guys up for doing a live trading demonstration today? Okay, good. Okay, I thought I'd make it a little bit special. When my colleagues asked me to run this project, I did ask them, what do you want me to cover? Because I can talk about trading for days, but they said, talk about what you like, but most importantly, to show you that it's something that you can do as well. So I thought by showing you live on my computer here today, not only we see how it works, but when I show you, you should be able to realize, you know what? I reckon I can do that. And that's where I want to get you today, is for you to realize that you can use the same strategies that we use every single day. So I'm going to show you live so you actually get to see it. Okay, I thought it'd be quite exciting for you to see that, right? And also I'm going to give you a roadmap so you know exactly what to do from today. Often when I get into conversations with people about trading, okay, typically when you're in a social setting and you're meeting someone for the first time, the first question that always gets asked is, what line of work are you in? And as soon as the topic of trading comes up, it ends up being like a 3-hour conversation. Okay, we're talking about all things to do with the economy. We've been talking about the stock market. We're talking about gold and silver, especially recently. We've been talking a lot about President Trump and his antics over the last few weeks, let alone the last 18 months. And by the end of it, it's like, right, that's amazing. Tomorrow morning, though, when I'm in front of my screen, what is the first thing that I actually need to do? So I'm going to give you a complete roadmap today, so exactly what next week looks like, the next month, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, and beyond. Okay. So if you want to have a roadmap, just type in roadmap in the chat box, please. Okay. And of course, the more energy you guys give me today, the more I will deliver back to you. Now, I'm going to ask you a question to begin with. What brings you to this workshop in the first place? Okay, what would you like to achieve? Why are you here? So when I was speaking to my colleagues over last week who were helping you guys get registered, they mentioned to me you guys are very excited about trading. Obviously the amount of money that can make is very attractive, but what's that money for? Okay, so whilst I take a sip of my coffee, can you please let me know in the chat box, what is what is that thing that you would like to achieve? Okay, what would you like me to help you with? Why do you want to learn how to trade? Okay, so let's have a look here. Okay, so to be able to do this full time, financial freedom, leave the 9 to 5, retirement, pension. Okay, you want to actually learn how to do it, says Rob Haggerty. Have better strategies to learn more about how it actually works, Gedrius. Exit from awful corporate job, says Kay Warmleton. Okay, what corporate job do you do, Kay? Let me know. Gain confidence to actually start with a simple, steady strategy. Jonathan, I can definitely help you with that today. Have more time, supplement income, clear some debts, diversification, help pay the mortgage off a little bit early, have a bit more comfortable retirement, pension. Okay, replace pension, says Stephen. We have to do this full time, get an understanding, diversify, concerned about the economy. Yeah. What do we think about the economy, by the way? What do we think about the Labour government? Is there method in their madness, or is it just madness? Okay, what do we think? To pass on to my daughters for their financial future, says Anne Mason. Yeah, the younger generation definitely need a better way of getting their money working for them. Okay, for sure. And yeah, okay. There's a lot of comments about the Labour government. I'm not sure I'm allowed to repeat some of those comments because we are not past watershed yet. Good, great aims there. Without reading all of them individually, they all seem very similar to each other, which means you're all in the right place. So really focus on how the different things that I'll be speaking about today really apply to what you just wrote down. Makes it a really productive session for everyone here today. Okay, now let's get into strategy number 1, which is the breakfast breakout. Okay, now this is one of the first strategies that I was taught. Great one for you to begin with. It works wonderfully on the stock indices and the commodities market. Okay, now what is a stock index? Okay, it's a basket of shares. Okay, so for example, the FTSE 100 is the combined performance of the 100 biggest companies in the UK. The S&P 500 is the combined performance of the 500 biggest companies in America. So you Google, Tesla, Facebook, Nvidia, Palantir, they're all in the group of 500 shares, okay? The commodities that we trade on the strategy are specifically, please write this down, gold, silver, and WTI crude, okay? Very important. There are lots of other commodities that we do trade, however, it works best on those 3, okay? We use this on a 5-minute chart, so this is considered a fast time frame strategy. It doesn't mean the trade lasts for 5 minutes. It may run for 2 days. It may run for 7 hours. It may run for 35 minutes. Okay, it just means each one of the funny looking bars on the screen represents 5 minutes of price movement, and you're going to see that in a moment. Okay. By the way, give my support team a quick hi in the chat box as well. I've got a team of about 20 people who are supporting me on today's event. Give them a little hi in the background too, okay? They're also helping me with the chat box, by the way, so I will be periodically looking over. So if you have any questions that you want to ask me, please don't be shy, okay? If I miss your question, it's I'll probably be coming back to it later as well, okay? And we always use your strategy 1 hour after the market's been open, okay? We always wait an hour first, okay? Now, what do I mean? What do we mean by that? So let's look at the German stock market, okay? That's what I was trading yesterday morning. Okay, I'm just trying to restart my pen tool here. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, it seems to be all right. Okay, so the German stock market is what I was trading yesterday, and the German stock market opens at 7 o'clock in the morning. UK time. Okay, so this is the German 40. Okay, right, so it's 7 o'clock in the morning, UK time, German stock market wakes up and it's going up and down. Okay, does all sorts of stuff. Okay, now we always wait until 8 o'clock to see what happens. Okay, and the reason why we wait an hour, it allows for any news announcements to settle in. It allows for any reconciliations to occur, especially if there's been any large overnight movements, perhaps from Donald Trump saying or doing something controversial, which, by the way, he typically does do at the end of the American day, okay, and the weekends, okay. Those are his two favorite times to say or do something outrageous, typically for the Asian market to suffer the consequences. Now, if you've got a company that's floated on the Japanese stock exchange, and that same company's also trading on one of the European indices, that overnight movement can actually make a big shift, okay? So allowing for the first hour to settle down is really helpful, okay? It also allows us to see the highest point and the lowest point that stock market's reached, okay? Think of this as like a ceiling and think of this as like a floor, okay? Now, why do we want to see the ceiling and the floor of that first hour of price activity? Well, the reason why is because lots of other traders around the world are also waiting to see the high and the low. This is not a strategy that we invented, by the way. It's been around since the 1960s, okay? We just automate it now within Smart Charts, so it doesn't take a team of 10 people to do it anymore. Now, what we're waiting to see is what happens next. Because if the price decides to shoot up after 8 o'clock, so if it does this and shoots up, and breaks through the ceiling, we often find a lot of buying activity tends to happen at that point. It's almost like traders getting quite excited and they pile into the market, okay? And the more people pile in and get excited, the more the price rises throughout the rest of the day, okay? It's quite fascinating, actually, how the markets become quite self-fulfilling, okay? Do you know what I mean by that? Yes or no? Okay, so I often talk about the markets being self-fulfilling prophecies. And what that basically means is the more people there are around the world who are all thinking and doing the same thing, the more that movement actually happens. Okay, it's a reason why gold has been doing tremendously well over the last few years. Everyone knows that gold is a safe haven. Okay, so when you're concerned about the future, you buy gold. Okay, the more people buy gold, the more it goes up in value. Okay, it becomes self-fulfilling. Now, we can take advantage of this situation by trading long at this point. Okay, very important word to write down your notes is that long means to trade in an upwards direction. Okay, now if the price does not do that, but instead what happens after 8 o'clock is the price drops and breaks through the floor, we often find the opposite happens. Okay, this is where the price tends to drop and fall further as people panic. They get scared. Hang on, it's gone through the floor today. That's not such a good sign. And institutions and traders start offloading their positions. Okay, and the more that happens, the more the price continues to go down throughout the rest of the day. Okay, and we can take advantage of this breakout on the south side instead by trading short. Another very important word to write down your notes is that shorting means to trade in a downwards direction. Okay, by the way, whether you're a complete beginner or if you have done some trading before, this is going to be spot on. By the way, let me know if you are a complete beginner in the audience, because if you're fresh, that's the best place to begin. Honestly, there's no bad habits, there's no incorrect information to unlearn. Okay, it's always quite nice to start off as a fresh canvas. Okay, now at this point here, it's quite straightforward to understand. Okay, I remember when it was certainly explained to me 19 years ago, I remember sat there thinking, yeah, makes sense actually. So when it breaks to the ceiling, okay, we go long. When it breaks to the floor, we go short. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. However, how many of you would be interested to see how often this actually happens in real life? Yes or no? That's the whole point. Okay, that is the whole point, because right now this is just a theory. Okay, and Gerdas, it sounds good. In fact, the way you've explained it, it actually makes perfect sense. However, how often does this happen in real life? That's what I'm really excited to show you live today, so you actually get to see it with your own eyes. Okay, now there are a few things that we need to be aware of. Okay, one of which is a word I want you to write down, are fake outs. Okay, please write down the word fake out in the chat box. Now, what is a fake out? A fake out is when the price breaks through the ceiling. Okay, however, we don't want to go long. Okay, because we expect the market's going to go the other way. So there are certain exceptions where the market might break out on the upside or the downside. However, we don't want to trade it in that corresponding direction because we expect the market's going to go the other way. Now, you might be thinking, I'm a beginner. How do I know when a fake out is like to happen? Now, it's through a process that we call, please write this down on your notepads, is PTA. Now, PTA stands for pre-trade analysis. Okay, so what we do is at 7:45 in the morning, so basically 15 minutes before that hour is about to complete, this is where we spend a bit of time doing some last minute checks. Is there anything you should be aware of? Has anything changed? Have there been any shock headlines that might give us a different perspective? Now, you might be thinking, Dennis, how do I know what to analyze? Well, we're going to teach you. We'll teach you exactly what to look at and how to look at it. In fact, do you think would that be useful? Yes or no? Absolutely. We do that. Please write this down on your notepads 4 times a day. So 4 times a day, we do something called a breakfast breakout live stream. So for about half an hour, this is where we broadcast live and we share our screen and we trade in front of you and actually go through verbally the analysis that we're doing so you guys can understand what went into that trade. Okay, and that's really helpful for your learning, especially when you're starting out. It's a great way to learn and understand as time develops, because can you learn everything about trading in one day, by the way? Absolutely not. Okay, we're always learning. We are always learning. Okay, in fact, there's a very important date I'd like you to write down for your diary, and it is, please write this down, the 29th of April. Okay, write that down on your notepads. The 29th of April is the most important date for every single trader around the world, because that is the next time the US Federal Reserve is going to be announcing whether or not they're going to be changing interest rates. Okay, so just like we have the Bank of England in this country, the US have the Federal Reserve. Okay, now we do expect that they're going to keep interest rates the same. Okay, we do expect that. Okay, in fact, it wouldn't surprise us if they discuss the idea of increasing interest rates. Okay, especially with the whole knock-on impact of what we're likely to see with this whole Iranian crisis. Okay, so yeah, we do expect they're going to be discussing increasing interest rates. Now, if they don't do that, but instead what they do is they cut interest rates, okay, to be honest, me and my team will be a bit surprised by that, and we'll think, hang on, that was not meant to happen. Let's digest what this information means and how we're going to use that in our trading over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, so as we start to learn and digest what that information means, you guys get to learn as well. Does that make sense? Okay, especially starting out, for your first, for your first 6 months, your first 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, tuning to those live streams. We do it 4 times a day, 5 days a week. Okay, that's really helpful for your learning, especially when you're starting out. Okay, and they get recorded as well, which is fantastic. Okay, it's a brilliant way to learn. Now, when do we I'll show you how the live streams work in a moment, by the way. Now, when do we turn up to use the strategy? 8 o'clock in the morning. That's when you need to prepare yourself to trade the French, German, Euro stocks. 9 o'clock in the morning for the Spanish UK 100. We got 3:30 in the afternoon for the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, US 30, also known as Dow Jones, and crude oil. We got 2 o'clock in the morning for the Australian market, 3 o'clock in the morning for the Japanese and Hong Kong 50, and we got 5 o'clock in the morning for gold and silver. Okay, so there's a good bit of flexibility here in terms of when you can use this strategy. Now, what I want to do is I actually want to use today as day one of your trading journey, because from this afternoon, many of you will actually be doing this with us. Okay, so I want you to think about what your routine looks like. Okay, so think about what your routine is. Are you in the motorway in the morning? Are you running management meetings with your staff? You know, are you off on site? Okay, what does your day look like? And in the chat box, let me know which time slot you think you can definitely turn up 2 to 3 times a week without fail. Because those of you who do really well at this will be the ones that are quite regimented and quite disciplined, okay? You do not want to approach trading like how most of us approach fitness, okay? I might go to the gym on Sunday. I might go again in July, okay? No, you want to be regimented in terms of how you approach this, okay? So, okay, so a lot of people seem like 8 a.m. is a good one. 9 o'clock in the morning, 3:30, 5 a.m. Yeah, see, there's something for everyone, okay? There's something for everyone, which is brilliant. Now, there are some golden rules of the game. Golden rule number 1, make sure you're clear of distractions, okay? Now, the great thing about the strategy is it doesn't require any more than 10 to 15 minutes of your time, okay? So if you're a very busy person, you're going to love this strategy. Okay, you don't need more than 10 to 15 minutes, but when you do have those 10 minutes, make sure you're not doing anything else, okay? Rule number 2, we don't risk any more than 2% of the money that's in our trading account per trade. We like to keep the risk low, okay? Capital preservation. We're very risk averse people. We like to reduce our risk as much as we can. I'm not going to lose any sleep if I'm risking 2% of the money that's in my trading account. Keeps the emotions completely away from it, okay? And that's really helpful. Do you think a lot of people out there, when they try and have a dabble themselves, do you think they like to keep their risk low? No, they do not. They like to whack up their risk. By the way, do you give me permission to be frank and real with you today? Okay, all right, good. Now, trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Okay, it's not about trying to become an overnight success. Okay, this is about building a good, reliable secondary income alongside what you're doing right now. So straight away, it can help pay for some bills. It can pay for things here and there, pay for dinner, pay for bits and pieces. And then in 12 months' time, 18 months' time, it can build into something a bit more substantial where you can start to, cover your mortgage and, replace the debt. Does that make sense? That's the way to approach it, okay? But some people, they don't want to wait 12 months. They want to get there next week. So do you know what they do? They'll whack up their risk to 30% or 40% of their trading account. Now, that's great if the trade comes in. If it doesn't, that person has just lost half of their trading account. Now guess what? Now they're revenge trading to try and make back the money they've lost, and then they lose the rest of it. Okay, so as a trader, we want to keep our risk as low as possible. Okay, really, really important. Okay. By the way, do any of you guys support any football teams in this country? And if you do, let me know who you support, please. Okay, any football supporters? All right, here we go. Who we got here today? We've got Rangers, we've got Man United, Bristol Rovers, Man U, Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea, West Ham, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Wrexham, Man City, Arsenal. Good man, we're going to be friends. Okay, Celtic. Okay, so those of you who've put that you support, United, Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Man City. You guys, all of you, Tottenham Hotspurs, you guys will make fantastic traders. Okay, you guys will be excellent at this because you're resilient to losses. Okay, it's all right. Don't worry. Next week we're going to go again like nothing happened. Okay, you guys will be phenomenal at this. Okay, good work. All right. Rule number 3. We trade at a minimum 1-to-1 reward to risk. Okay, so risking 2% to make 2%. Okay, now there are trades that I look for that give me like a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 reward ratio, but as a minimum, I look for 1-to-1. Okay, so what that means is, let's say for example, you've got let's get my pen tool out for this. Let's say you have £2,000 in a trading account. Okay, now if you've got £2,000 in a trading account, 2% of that is equal to £40. So at this point here, you're looking to make £40 per trade. Okay, now I appreciate it's not a massive amount of money, but it pays for a Nando's, doesn't it? Okay. If you're trading with £5,000 in the trading account, 2% of that is equal to 100 quid. So at this point here, you look to make £100 per trade. Now, if you're making £100 per trade, that starts to become a bit more meaningful for the average person in this country, okay? Especially when you compare that to the day job. Some of you might be consultants making several hundreds of pounds a day. Some of you might have regular day jobs where you're making 100 quid a day, 200 quid a day. If you're making £100 in a trade, it starts to become a bit more meaningful, doesn't it? Yes or no? Okay. If you're trading with, let's say, £15,000 in the trading account, all right, if you're trading with 15k, 2% of that is equal to £300. Now, if you're making £300 per trade, it starts to become a bit more, well, it starts to make a massive difference to anyone, doesn't it? Okay, it makes a big difference to anyone. So as you can see here, trading is not a time equals money model, it's money equals money. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay, and that's great for a few reasons, because there's great growth potential, there's scalability. Okay, as time goes on, you'll naturally earn more the larger your trading account is. Okay, now in a lot of people's professions, to earn more money, they've got to be more specialized, they've got to be more qualified. Okay, a cardiologist will earn more money than a GP. Okay, someone who does bathroom tiling and all that kind of stuff, you know, if they know how to do mitered edges, okay, they're going to be a lot more skilled than your regular bathroom fitter. Okay, they'll be able to charge more as a day rate. Okay, so to earn more money in most people's professions, you've got to be more specialized. When it comes to trading, none of that matters. Okay, your qualification, your IQ, intellect does not matter. The person who's making £300 per trade is not 3 times smarter than the person who's making £100 a trade. That's trading with more money. Okay, so there's great growth potential there. And in fact, let me know in the chat box, how much money would you look to start trading with to begin with? Okay, I always recommend starting small, build your confidence. Okay, and obviously small is different for everyone, isn't it? So how much money would you start trading with to begin with? Okay, so let's have a look here. So £2,000, 10,000, £5,000, 2.5k, 20,000, 5,000 to begin with, 10,000 says Masach, 500 quid, 25,000, £10,000 to begin with, 30k, £1,000, 2,500, 5,000, £10,000, 15,000, 2,000, 500 quid to begin with, and then add £2,000 a month. Yeah, you can always add more. All right, by the way, all your trading profits are tax-free in the UK, so please remember that. So when you're trading through a spread trading account, it's tax-free. £1,000, 5,000. Okay, great. So I mean, look, whether you're trading with £500, 5,000, or 50,000, okay, you know, starting is starting. All right. Now, golden rule number 4. Once you place your trade, close your laptop and carry on with the rest of your day. Okay. Now, why do you think the 4th point is very important? Yeah, stops you from over trading, removes the emotions away from it, and those are the good and the bad emotions, the greed, the fear. Staring at the chart is no good. Okay, once you put your trade on, go do something else for the rest of the day. Okay, keep yourself distracted, because staring at the chart is no good for you. Okay, it doesn't make the price move quicker. In fact, I do believe the more you look at a chart, I reckon the slower the price actually moves. Okay, so you're best off going off and doing other stuff. And because here's the thing, right? A trade may run for 7 hours. Okay, now it's not just going to go from there to there. Okay, it's going to do all of this sort of stuff first. Now, if you're sat there watching it for 7 hours, going up and down, you'll just get heart palpitations. Okay, so set the trade up, walk away, carry on with the rest of your day. Okay, that's really important. I'll show you what that looks like. In fact, I actually recorded a video diary of all the trades that I did over the space of 1 week. Would you guys like to see it later? Okay, cool. Okay, I'll show you. All right. Let's have a look. What are the rules for stop loss and take profit? I'm going to get into that. By the way, you guys enjoying yourself? Let me know if you guys have any questions. If I haven't given you a shout out yet, just type your name in the chat box, okay? If you guys are tuned in late, because I know there's now 380 of you in this workshop, this is a live event, okay? This is not pre-recorded, okay? I showed the guys earlier today's newspaper. There you go. It says there Saturday the 18th of Saturday the 18th of April. Okay, that is today's newspaper. This is not a pre-recorded event. Okay, Harsh has said why 5 a.m. for gold, because there's a very specific thing that happens. Okay, you'll learn all about that. What's the minimum amount to start trading with? Well, I think technically the minimum is like £250. Okay, so what you know, yeah, if you want to start small, yeah, you can do, but definitely build your confidence. Okay, that's key. But I just want you to be aware, if you're trading with £250, you'll be making a fiver per trade. Okay, I just want you to be aware of that. You're not going to be, buying Lamborghinis next week. Okay, so I just want you to be aware of that. If you are starting small, you'll be making a £5 a trade. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so I just want you to be aware of that. Right, let's actually have a look at some examples of this strategy in Smart Charts itself. Okay, and before I show you the trades that I've done this week, let me show you what your fellow peers. Okay, these are students of mine who were once in the same seat that you guys are in right now. Let me show you how my students have been doing over the last 15 months. Would you guys like to see this? Yes or no? Okay, fantastic. So, firstly, let me introduce you to David. There he is at the top. Say hi to David. What you're looking at right now, by the way, is a screenshot of a coaching session that I did. There I am, with David at the top. And we're using Zoom, just like we're using Zoom today. And David is sharing his screen with me, showing me the trades that he's taken on his Smart Charts. So I just want you to let you know, all these next trades, I did not do any of these. These are all students of mine and the trades that they've taken. Now, what you can see is David is, I'll give you a bit of background of each person, by the way. David is a hotel owner from Wakefield up in Yorkshire. He owns a property called Whiteley Hall and basically wants to retire. He said, Geddes, I've been running my business for a long time, but I'm getting a bit old now. Running a business is okay, but you can't clock off for 5 p.m. Okay, you're always working. Sunday morning, something's gone wrong, you've got to be there to solve it. So he's getting a bit tired of that, and also he said his business has been impacted a lot since COVID. A lot of people use his hotel for wedding functions, but he said, look, people are, since COVID time, having smaller weddings. They're inviting fewer people, they're spending less money. Have you guys noticed that, by the way, with the weddings that have been going on? Yeah, so he's got a couple of motivations as to why he wants to learn how to grow his wealth. Now here he is trading the breakfast breakout on a 5-minute chart on the German 40. Look at the date at the bottom. That is the 23rd of January last year. Okay, so 23rd of January, you can see the date at the bottom. Now what you can see here is a blue box. Now that blue box, please write this down, is the opening hourly range. So what the German stock market has done in the first hour is what that blue box is. So the AI in Smart Charts automatically prints that blue box the moment it hits 8 o'clock. We can see there's an arrow pointing up, indicating that we have an opportunity to go long. And we also have some dots here. Now you can see, let me just highlight it for you. There's a blue dot there. There's a red dot down there. And up here is a green dot. Okay. Now please write this down in your notes. The blue dot, that's where you enter. Okay, E for entry. That's when you get into the trade. The red dot, that's where you put your stop loss. The stop loss is an automatic safety net in case it goes the other way. And the green dot is the take profit, okay, the TP. All right, so once it hits the take profit, it automatically closes without you having to be there. So you have your entry, we have our stop loss, we have our take profit, and that's automatically calculated within Smart Charts every single day based on the size of the opening hourly range. So you do not have to figure that out yourself at all. So we have our entry, we have a stop loss, we have a take profit. Now what we can see here is the price clearly broke through the ceiling. Now when it breaks through the ceiling, what do we expect is going to happen next? Okay, what do we expect is going to happen next? Let's go back to the earlier slide. Let's do a bit of a recap. Now when it breaks through the ceiling, we expect the price is going to rise, because hopefully lots of other buyers see that and they get excited by it as well. And the more people pile into the market, the more it causes the market to rise, okay? So that's what we expect. So as you can see, the price broke the ceiling, it fluctuated, and then went all the way up to the take profit, where it closed out for a nice successful win. So here is a lovely profitable trade of David going long as it's broken through the ceiling. Okay. Now on the next day, he was trading the UK 100. Have a look at the date at the bottom. That's the 24th of January. Now the price this time broke through the floor. Now when it breaks through the floor, we expect the opposite's going to happen. Okay, let's go back to that earlier example. So when it breaks through the floor, we expect people are going to panic, and the more people panic, the more people sell, the more people sell, the more the price goes down. And that's exactly what's happened. So here is an example of David shorting on the breakfast breakout and closing out for a nice profitable trade. Okay, and here are David's results for his first week of trading. So you can see he's using mostly breakfast breakout. He does have a T-wave in there as well. And what he's got 1, he's got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 winning trades. So 6 winners. And he's got 2 losses. So that's 6 winning trades, 2 losses. So that's 8 trades altogether. 6 over 8, that is 75% as a success rate. Okay. Now, what do we think to 75% as a success rate? Let me know in the chat box, please. Very good. Okay. In fact, I'm more than happy to wake up to 65 to 75% win rate any day of the week. Okay. More than happy with that. In fact, I would like you to write that down on your notepads at home. Okay. 65 to 75%. That's what you're looking for, okay? And the reason, by the way, the reason why I want you to write it down is I want to start managing your expectations, okay? So Gurdas, when I'm trading, what am I likely to realistically achieve? 65 to 75%, as long as you have that in your mind, that's a good place to be, okay? Don't try. How many of you, by the way, find that okay and acceptable? Let me know in the chat box. How many of you are content with that? Yeah, absolutely. Do not try to strive for anything more than that. Okay, I'm sure there's someone out there on the internet that say they've got a 99% success rate strategy. Okay, very unlikely, by the way. Probably the same people that say if you stick £500 on trading account, you'll be buying Lamborghinis next week. Okay, by the way, that unfortunately is never going to happen either. Sorry if I'm bursting anyone's bubble. Okay, you did tell me that I'm allowed to be frank and real with you. Hopefully that's okay, by the way. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is about building a reliable secondary income alongside what you're doing, so you can actually do well. And just to let you know, David is trading with a £10,000 trading account. 2% of 10,000 is 200 quid. Hence why he's looking to make 200 quid a trade. Now on the next, I caught up with David a week later. Okay, you notice this time I'm trading from my home office. So when you see the different backdrops, by the way, that's me trading from my home office. This is me trading from one of our trading rooms in Hampton Court. Okay, so we have trading centres around the world. Hampton Court is our physical office where people actually come and trade with us every single week in person, and we actually hold their hand and trade live with them. Okay, do you guys know where Hampton Court Palace is? Yeah, it's in the borough of Richmond, well, between Richmond and Surrey, where Henry VIII used to live. Okay, so Henry VIII, one of our old kings. Okay, 800 meters down the road, that's where our office is. By the way, let me know how many of you would like to come to my office in Hampton Court and actually sit next to me and my team and actually trade live with us hands-on. Just type in me in the chat box, please. Okay, so okay, so I caught up with David a week later and he's plugging away. Have a look at this. French 40, price broke to the ceiling, carried on rallying. Great little example here. And here are David's results for his following week. So we saw these first trades already. These were from the week after. So what we've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 winners, 9 winning trades, and 4 losing trades. Okay, what do we reckon to that result? Would you guys be happy with that? Yes or no? Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, fantastic. Okay, and I like to use David as a what I call a textbook example. Okay, or a model student. Okay, I remember when he came to me, he said, "Gurdas, you guys know a lot more about this trading stuff than I do. Just tell me what to do, and I promise you, I'll stick to the plan." Okay. Now, do you think everyone is like that? Absolutely not. Okay, now there are 305 of you in this workshop right now. Okay, now half of you will do really well at this. Half of you will do well because you'll just follow the plan and stick to the rules. The other half will be shockingly terrible. It will be an absolute car crash. And why is that? Why will half of you do really well and the other half be a disaster? Who can tell me the answer? Emotions. Okay, you won't listen. Okay, you'll bend the rules. Okay, you'll deviate, says Alan Morris. Great word. You'll deviate from the plan. You won't. You'll do your own thing, and that is human nature, by the way. Okay, you can give people a set of processes, and they'll still do something different. Okay, someone will say, "Oh, I know Gerd has told me not to look at the chart. I'm going to stare at it. I'm going to move my stop loss. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that instead." And do you know what? I'm a firm believer that if someone's not going to listen, you have to let them get it out of the system, okay? Because some people only learn the hard way, okay? So if someone is not going to listen, you have to let them get it out of the system because then they finally realize. Does that make sense? Because here's the thing, it comes out in the coaching anyway. By the way, every single person that uses smart charts gets a dedicated coach to help you in all aspects of your trading, okay? And let's say, for example, I'm doing a coaching session with you, I will go through every single trade that you do to make sure that you're following the rules properly. And if I've got someone, for example, called Timothy, who's a bit disheveled half the week, I'll say, Timothy, did you notice that when you follow the rules, things were okay? And then when you did your own weird stuff, it wasn't very pretty. So maybe, Timothy, let's just stick to the bloody straight and narrow, okay? Let's do it properly. Don't try and be a hero, okay? Just follow the process. So basically, moral of the story, try and be like David, okay? Now, here is John. John is one of my retired students, okay? In fact, do you know what? I could probably spend 10 hours with you going through lots of these examples. For example, here's an example of avoiding a fake out. That arrow was pointing up first. However, he did not take that trade. He only took the trade to go short. And again, in the live stream we did that day, we would have advised about that. And look at this. He made £1,540 in this trade. So a little bit larger than what David was doing. However, he is trading with £75,000 in the trading account. So again, not a small amount of money either. However, the good thing here is he is not 7.5 times smarter than David from Wakefield. He's just trading with 7.5 times more money. Okay, so it's good to show you just different amounts here. Now, I could probably spend 10 hours going through lots of these examples because I've got lots of them. Okay, for example, here is Lisa. She does her yoga stuff from home. Here he is trading. She's trading the French 40. As it's broken the ceiling, when that happens, we expect the market to rise, which it did. Here is Mandeep. Mandeep is an IT contractor, and he basically wants to have some income coming in whilst he's in between contracts. Okay, and here he is trading the UK 100. As it's broken the ceiling, we expect the market to rise, which it did. Have a look at the date at the bottom. That was on the 3rd of March last year. Here is Chris. Chris is trading the German 40. So here he is. The price is broken through the floor. When that happens, we expect the market to drop. This is back on the 24th of April. So you notice we're slowly going throughout the whole year. Stephen. Okay, Stephen is trading the German 40 going short. As it breaks to the floor, we expect the price to fall. And this was back on the 1st of July. And have a look at this trade. £86 he made there. So, you know, we're not talking about thousands of pounds. We're not talking about hundreds of pounds. He made 86 quid. However, for him, that's good enough for him. How many of you would be happy making £86? Okay, on one trade. It's not bad, is it? Okay, not bad at all. Here's Kanchan. Kanchan is trading the gold on the 1st of August. Here is Kamal. Kamal does commercial property stuff up in Solihull. Really nice guy. Basically wants to diversify. And there's a lot of my clients. They've been very successful in their respective careers, but now they want to protect their wealth. They want to grow. They want to be able to have something resilient to the economy. Okay. So here he is trading the Spanish, the S&P 500. As it's broken through the ceiling, when that happens, we expect the market to rise. This is back on the 27th of October. Here is Paul. Paul's trading long on the UK 100. This was back in the 11th of December last year, so a couple of weeks before Christmas. Here is Brian. So we're now into the new year. This is Brian shorting the French 40 okay, expecting it to fall. This is back on the 6th of January. Here is Shrikant. He is shorting the UK 100. As it broke through the floor, we expect the price to go down. This is back on the 3rd of February. Here is Chris. He's a nice guy from Scotland who teaches maths, actually. And he's trading WTI crude, okay? And this is when crude was over $100 a barrel, okay? And have a look at the date. That was the 30th of March. So we're going back just 2 weeks ago now. However, what month are we actually in right now? We're in April. So should we have a look at what's happened with the breakfast breakout trades this week? Yes or no? Yeah, let's bring it up to date, okay? And by the way, when I was putting this whole workshop together, I'm always putting myself in your shoes. What kind of things did I need to see when I first started, okay? And that's why I want to show you lots of examples from lots of different students of mine, okay? Not just one person from 2016, okay? I want to show you lots of clients throughout the whole of the last year and a half. However, that's all old news now, okay? Let's have a look at what's happened this week, because you probably still remember what you had for breakfast every single day this week. Now, let me firstly show you a trade that I did yesterday. Have a look at the date, okay? That's the 17th of April, which is yesterday. So I recorded myself doing a trade on the German 40. Would you guys like to watch this? Yes or no? Okay, so have a look at this. Have a look at this trade.
Good morning. It is just gone past 9 minutes past 8 in the morning on Friday the 17th of April. Here we are on the German 40. I've already got my buy order on. As you can see, it's not yet triggered, but I've got my entry, I've got my stop loss, I've got my take profit. So we'll see how this trade plays out. If it breaks with the upside, it will automatically take me into the trade without me having to be there. So we'll see how the trade plays out later. Bye for now.
Okay, who would like to see the result of that trade? Okay, let's have a look. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my my browser now. So let's go to Google Chrome. There we go. So here is the result of that trade. Okay. Look at the date at the bottom. Okay. I just want you to confirm to me, what does that date say? Yeah, that's the 17th of April. Okay, I just want you to confirm it for yourself. This is not 5 weeks ago. This is not 2010. This is yesterday. If you bring up the German 40, you guys have got iPads and phones. If you want to bring up the German 40 chart on your phone, you'll see exactly what you're seeing right now. Now, like I discussed in that video, I had my buy order in already, and when it breaks to the ceiling, obviously you get the drill now. When it breaks to the ceiling, we expect the market's going to rise. And look what happened. Did it rise? Yes or no? Yes, it did. It's almost like magic, isn't it? Well, in fact, it's not magic. It's just human behavior. Okay, markets become self-fulfilling. When the price breaks the ceiling, okay, we expect other buyers are going to pile in because they get bloody excited as well. Okay, and by the way, it doesn't matter what type of candles you use. Let's focus on the important stuff here. You can use candles, you can use anything you like. Okay, I just want to show you what's actually happening. Now, if I click on the actual flag icon, you'll see the trade that I took. So let me click on the shows you where I got in, shows you where I got out. First green flag is where I got in. Second green flag is where I got out. So if I click on the actual deal ticket, there are the details of the trade. So 17th of April, closed 46 minutes later. So that was yesterday. 17th of April, triggered in 11 minutes past 8 and hit target just before 9 o'clock in the morning. And that trade took 46 minutes. Now, here is the question. Is there any reason why you could not have done this trade? Any reason why you could not have done what I did yesterday morning? No, you guys can all do this. All of you can do this, okay? I've already explained to you how the strategy works, okay? When it breaks through the upside, we expect the market to rally. I'm not anything special, by the way, Okay, there's no secret ingredient that only I have and you guys don't. You guys can all do this. I've already explained to you how and why the strategy works, and now you actually get to see it with your own eyes. Okay, how cool is that? Yeah, all of you guys can do this. By the way, let me know, what were you doing at 8 o'clock in the morning yesterday? Going to work, getting ready, having breakfast, yeah, having a run. You guys can do this. And in the live stream we did that day, we discussed all the ideas behind it. By the way, would you like to see what happened when the Iranians broke the news that they're going to open the Strait of Hormuz? Do you want to see the impact that had on the market? Okay, have a look at this. Bang, look at that. It skyrocketed. Wow. Look at that movement. You can probably tell you can probably tell when the news came out. Wallop. Just skyrocketed. Look at that movement. Okay, phenomenal movements yesterday. Okay, now all I'm interested in is taking my bite out of the market. Okay, but that is what happened yesterday. Yeah, that's what happened yesterday. Should we have a look at what happened earlier in the week? Yeah, let's have a look. So that was Friday. Okay, let's go back to Thursday. Okay, now look what happened on Thursday. The price broke through the floor, and it broke through the floor, and when that happens, we expect the market to go down, and that's exactly what happened. So this is Thursday. Look at the date at the bottom. That's the 16th of April. The price broke through the floor, and the price carried on falling to the take profit, which is where the green dot is. Let's go back to Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday, I had a losing trade. Okay, I'm going to show you my winning trades. I'm also going to show you my losing trades. Okay, so have a look at this. This was Wednesday. The price broke through the ceiling. Anticipation was that the market's going to rise, as I expected, as did my colleagues. However, it went down and hit my stop loss. Okay, that's fine. Let's go back to Tuesday. Tuesday, look at that. The price broke through the ceiling. Okay, when that happens, we expect the market to rise. And again, that's exactly what happened there. Again, you can see the details of the trade. That trade took 6 minutes, by the way. 14th of April, look at the date. And let's go back to Monday. Okay, this is Monday. The price broke through the ceiling. Look at the date at the bottom, 13th of April. Price broke through the ceiling. When that happens, we expect the market to rise. And that was 13th of April. That trade took 1 hour and 1 minute. So what you can see here, let's look at the full week. Okay, let's look at the full week. So let's zoom out. Okay, there you go. You've got the whole week there now. You got Monday, you got Tuesday, you got Wednesday, you got Thursday, you got Friday. Now notice there is no flag on the Thursday because I normally take Thursday mornings off. Okay, so I didn't actually put any trade on there. But had you done that, you would have had a winning trade. So if you look at the actual trades I took, there is 1 green flag, 2 green flag, 3 green flags, 1 red flag. So I've got 3 winners, 1 loss. Is that okay as a ratio? Yes or no? Yeah, I'm more than happy with that. By the way, is it helpful for you to see not just my winning trades, but also my losing trades? Is it good for you to see the winning and losing trades? Yeah, because we're completely transparent. We have to be. We have to be completely transparent, and also we trade live in front of you every single day, so you actually get to see all the trades that we're doing anyway. Does that make sense? It shows us that we're real. Exactly, says Anne. Okay, you know, there's people out there, they will not show you this stuff. Okay, if you're going to learn how to trade, okay, someone has to be prepared to show you what they're actually doing. And if they don't show you the trades that they're doing, you run a mile away. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, they got to show you what they're actually doing. And if someone doesn't show you they're losing trades, it's a bit fishy, isn't it? It's a bit fishy. And we trade live in front of our clients every single day. Would you like to see a trade that I'm actually in right now? Yeah, let me show you a trade I'm in right now. Now, the US stock market has hit a record high this week. So have a look at this. So here is my NASDAQ trade that I'm in right now. Okay, just to show you. Okay, so this is the NASDAQ. And as you can see, this is yesterday. Currently, that's my entry. That's my stop loss and my take profit. It's not yet hitting my target yet. And so currently up £566 on the trade that I took yesterday. That's still running right now. Okay, so again, same principle. The US stock market has hit a record high. So brilliant to see. And so that's the breakfast breakouts this week. And here is the live stream, by the way. So here we go. So this is where we broadcast live every single day, 4 times a day. So when I talked about earlier, when we trade live in front of you, do the pre-trade analysis, this is where we do it. So on when you, for example, turn up at 7:45 in the morning on Monday, you'll see a little live button, and you'll be able to tune in and actually watch us as we're trading. And that's really helpful, especially when it comes to starting off with building your confidence. Because do you know what? The hardest thing is not the understanding. The hard thing is pressing the button. Okay? Because when you're at home in Leicester, when you're at home in Cardiff, when you're at home in Birmingham or Scotland, and you're about to press that trade button yourself, that is the hardest thing. And that's why tuning into those live streams, it builds your confidence, because you know there's other people who are doing it as well. Does that make sense? And by the way, I'm always running ideas past my team. I remember when silver hit $120. Now, I thought at that point there was a really good opportunity to short it, simply because what silver has done for the last 50 years. Every time silver has hit a record peak, it comes crashing down. And so I wanted to short silver at $120. And I remember speaking to my team. I said, guys, can I get a fresh pair of eyes on this? Just make sure I've not missed anything out. And we all looked at it together. So I'm always conferring with my team just to help me, be confident with a trade idea that I'm taking. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So, you don't have to be a hero. You don't have to try and do this all by yourself. How many of you would like to trade with me and my team every single day of the week? Just type in me in the chat box. Okay. And by the way, you're gonna learn how to do this. So you can do it independently. But to begin with, just to build your confidence, tune in. Okay. Each live stream gets recorded as well, which is awesome to show you. So that is how the breakfast breakouts have been doing this week. And also, let me show you something cool. Now, I was on the way to Manchester to see my niece. One of them is at the University of Manchester, and my other niece is at the University of Liverpool. Okay, they're both identical twin nieces. Okay, and I was at Euston Station, and I thought, you know what? Let me record myself doing the German 40 trade I did that day. So this was going back in. This is in January now. So have a watch of this.
I am currently at Euston Station. Okay, just waiting for my train. And I am in the German 40 trade. As you can see here, I am long on the German 40. It's broken through the upper part of the opening alley range. It's currently pulled back, and what I'm going to do is close my laptop and we'll see how this trade plays out. Because the whole idea is once you put a trade on, you walk away, let the market do the work. Okay, and so here I am at Euston Station, and let's see how this trade plays out. Bye for now.
So what I did, like I've told you, closed my laptop, I got on the train. Now, when I was a couple of, thank you, Stephen, okay. When I was a couple of stops away from Manchester Piccadilly, I opened my laptop, just see how the trade played out, and there was the result, okay. So there I was at Euston Station in the morning, and that was going past Stockport, and that was the conclusion. The trade had automatically closed out whilst I was on the train. Okay, let me know, by the way, how many of you guys travel through Euston Station? How many of you, go work in or around Manchester? Because there I was. And if you guys do go through Euston Station, that's me on the mezzanine. You know where the Starbucks is and the Leon? That is where I was with my laptop at Euston bloody Station. Okay, so cool to show you that. Now, speaking of Trump, he has been fantastic for us. Okay, he has been awesome for us with certain things that he's been doing. There's a very interesting situation that happened back on the 10th of October last year. Some of you guys might remember this. Now, this is when Trump came out with this tweet. against China about how unfair they're being about their rare earth minerals, and how he was going to slap 100% tariffs on China. It's unacceptable what they're doing. How dare they do what they're doing? And as soon as he mentioned that tweet, everything crashed that day. Okay, the stock market plummeted. Bitcoin had its largest single one-day fall in history. The altcoin market absolutely collapsed, has since never recovered. Now, I was in just a normal French 40 short anyway, and look at the impact that he made in the market. Now, what is even more interesting is on Sunday night, he came out with another tweet, which was this one. And that tweet said, "Oh, don't worry about China, they're okay." Yeah, absolutely fine. Okay. Basically, whatever I said on Friday, forget about it. President Xi, yeah, he's a great guy. They know what they're doing. Okay, it's all good. And I remember saying to my team, and we broadcast the message to all of our students, okay, and said, guys, Monday morning, guess what's going to happen? Everything's going to rebound. So everyone tuned in to the live stream that morning, and look at that trade I did. Okay, entered there. As it broke the ceiling, skyrocketed up, and that was the trade ticket from that trade. Took 16 minutes. Okay. Now here's the question: do you think Donald Trump is doing this stuff on purpose? Yes or no? Absolutely. Okay. Exactly 30 minutes before this tweet came out. Okay, so 30 minutes before this tweet came out, a brand new crypto wallet had opened up. That had never done a single transaction history, and it shorted Ethereum and Bitcoin and made $195 million in 4 hours. Okay, now I wonder who that wallet belonged to. Yeah, it doesn't take a genius to figure that out, does it? Now here's the thing: do you think Donald Trump is doing this stuff on purpose? Okay, do you think Donald Trump is doing this stuff on purpose? Absolutely. Okay, it's not random. Okay, what was happening in Venezuela in January? That wasn't random. What's happening in Iran? Okay, that's not random either. In fact, do you think it would be of benefit to Donald Trump to cause economic chaos? Would it be of benefit to him in any way to cause economic chaos? Yeah, it would, because one of the biggest problems the United States has right now is its national debt crisis. Okay, now countries don't really care about their national debt because they just keep raising the ceiling. However, what they do care about are the interest payments. Now, interest rates in the US are now a lot higher than they were during COVID time, when they did a lot of borrowing because of COVID, okay, and all that money printing that went on. Now, a lot of those loans are coming up to maturity, and if those interest rates don't get lower anytime soon, the US have a big crisis on their hand. And that's the reason why last year Donald Trump was going mad at the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, to try and get to lower interest rates. You know, he was going mad. You must lower interest rates now. Now, obviously, the central bank and the government, they're independent. They can't make them do anything. However, if Trump does cause economic chaos, then eventually central banks have no choice but to lower interest rates. And as soon as that happens, the US will refinance their debt. They're sorted for another 5-10 years. Okay, so I just want you to be aware of what is actually happening right now. Okay, it's obviously not so good for the poor bugger out there that relies on the economy for their business and their livelihoods. But for us as traders, it doesn't matter where the economy goes. Now, do we need to be friends with Donald Trump to be able to make money from what he's doing? Yes or no? No, absolutely not, because we're doing it every single day. And do you know what the best thing is? He is still president for another 3 years. Okay, so every time he opens his mouth, it helps us out. Okay, so you are choosing a brilliant time to actually start your trading journey. Now, here's a question: do you think you can do this? Yes or no? Yeah, with a bit of hand holding, with a bit of guidance, you absolutely can. Okay, I love this quote: "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember, but involve me and I learn." Okay, that pretty much sums up my entire learning experience. And would you guys like to know how I actually started? Yes or no? Okay, good. A lot of you were asking me earlier, Gurdas, how did you start? How did you get into it? I wasn't ignoring you, by the way, because I knew I was going to be coming up to this point. The great thing is, I had no background in trading, no background in economics. My background was actually IT. Okay, unfortunately, I wasn't quite clever enough to be a doctor or a lawyer, which is pretty much the aspiration of most Indian parents. So IT it was. I did every single IT course under the sun. I took the IT thing further when I did my undergraduate degree at the University College of London, which I read in information management. I took the IT thing further when I did my master's degree at the London School of Economics, which I read in analysis, design, and management of information systems. So my academic background was actually gearing me up towards being a consultant. For the likes of Deloitte, Accenture, Oracle, SAP, Microsoft, McKinsey, Bain, Capgemini, the usual suspects. And it's probably kind of halfway through my university career where I had a bit of a meltdown, and I realized I didn't really want to be doing IT for the rest of my life. Okay, I'm not sure if any of you have had a similar episode in life where you've started something and you realize that it's not for you. That happened to me for a couple of reasons. Firstly, the IT market is getting very saturated. Okay, a lot of jobs were getting outsourced, ironically, to India. And the real nail in the coffin was what was happening in the world at the time. Because if you look at the dates, I was at university, something called the credit crunch was kicking off. Okay, the largest financial crisis in recent history. So I was pretty screwed from an employment perspective. And the friends of mine who seemed to be relatively unfazed were all the ones who were applying for trading jobs, which is not really a big surprise, because if you look at the big investment banks and hedge funds, okay, your JP Morgans, Goldman Sachs, Marshall Wace, Bluecrest, Citadel, Millennium, Point72, where do those institutions go to hire their fresh crop of new candidates? Exactly. Well, here's where life is a bit unfair, but they're only interested if you've gone to a top tier university. Okay, now touch wood, I was very privileged that I was also at these prestigious universities with friends of mine who are applying for those same positions. Okay, and those same friends encouraged me. They said, look, you don't have to study economics to be a trader. There's people that do history as a degree that end up at the banks. There's people that do chemical engineering that end up at trading floors, because banks don't really care what you studied, they care where you studied. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Now, it's a bit of a generalization, but they know that if you've gone to Cambridge or Oxford or the London School of Economics, that person must have something about them. So during the second year of university, where everyone applies for their summer internships, rather than apply for work experience at IBM, I applied for a junior trader's intern role at a trading company based in southwest London, run by a certain Greg Secker. So I spent my entire summer of 2007 with Greg and the team, and I fell in love. Okay, I really enjoyed it. A lot more than I expected I would, to be honest. I seemed to impress a lot of the management at the time. They said that I demonstrated the characteristics that would make a good trader. Being very disciplined, structured, being very self-driven is very important when it comes to this. And they offered me a position. They said, look, as soon as you graduate, there's going to be a desk here for you. So that's what I did. I finished my university education, joined the family. Greg called me the lucky charm because we became the 49th fastest growing company in Great Britain, as ranked by the Sunday Times Fast Track 100. The award was sponsored by Virgin, so I got to meet Sir Richard Branson, which is quite cool. Also happens to be my mother's favourite photo, probably because I'm looking a lot fitter and younger than I am these days. Okay, I then spent a lot of time abroad, so a lot of time spent out in Australia, where I opened up the company's trading floor in North Sydney. That's me in the classroom in Sydney, by the way. Beautiful office overlooking the Harbour Bridge. Okay, I spent a lot of time out in South Africa, where I opened up the company's trading floor in North Sydney. In Johannesburg, sorry. That's me in the classroom in Johannesburg, and also spent a bit of time out in the Philippines, where we built a village for 100 families as part of the Greg Secker Foundation. Greg's housekeepers at the time were Filipino, and where their family was from got affected by the floods. So he actually rebuilt the village, and also saw his opportunity to invest in an emerging economy. So it's a bit of a snapshot as to what my last, what my last sort of 20 odd years look like. It's absolutely flown past. It does feel like yesterday, but the most important thing is if I can do this, you guys definitely can as well. Just make sure you surround yourself with people who are actually doing it, okay? And love this quote: the best mentors empower their mentees to become even better than they are, okay? Who do you think's been mentoring me for the last 19 years? Greg Secker, okay? Not only in a professional capacity, but also in personal life, okay? It's pretty much part of my family. He was a best man at my wedding, okay? In fact, if you want to, do you want to see some photos of Greg with a pink turban on? Okay, that's him with his beautiful partner. That's my religious ceremony. That's Greg Secker with a pink turban. Look how fantastic he looks. And in fact, that was one of my wedding functions as well. He was very proud of the Indian sherwani he had made for himself. And what they say is true. Your network is your net worth, okay? If you want to know what your future looks like, look at the 7 closest people around you and it will show you. And that's why when it comes to you learning this, make sure you find people you can resonate with, okay? Do you know what? I like their style, I like their approach. It's so important because most people don't even know one trader, let alone spend time with people who can actually show them what to do. And we're celebrating Greg this year, by the way, because he's achieved a fantastic milestone in that he's been trading the markets now for 30 years. Okay, that's 3 whole decades. And the reason why I mention that is actually the reason why I'm here today, because Greg wanted to celebrate his 30th anniversary by trying something that we haven't done before. Okay, so I mentioned I've got an exciting company announcement which I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit later on today. If any of you guys would like to wish Greg a happy 30th anniversary trading the markets, please do so in the chat box. I'll get the team to take a screenshot later and they can send it to him directly, okay? But all those years of experience get fed down to you guys, okay? So what you're going to see now, this is students of mine from 2024. So this is Brian trading the Euro Swiss using the T-wave strategy, okay? So what we look for in the currencies is higher lows, higher highs, nice cyclicity. Brian is retired. He basically wants to keep his mind active, okay? Keep his mind focused in old age. And also, he's a bit guilty of spending his pension. He said, he's got kids that he wants to leave money to. I said, look, Brian, you've worked hard all your life. Like, your pension is yours. He said, yeah, but goodness, if I want to be able to leave something back. He said, look, if I can just make a bit of money trading each month and that pays the bills, that's all he's after. And also it means he doesn't have to draw too much out of his pension and therefore reduce his tax liability as well. So he's got a good motivation there. And also remembered his dad looking at stock prices on CFAX. And he said since then, he's always wanted to play the markets. Okay, really nice guys, Brian. Here's Joyce. She's a pharmacist. She owns a few pharmacies, really successful in her own field. Here she is trading the T-wave on a 4-hour chart. On trading gold, look at that nice cyclicity, okay? Higher lows, higher highs, beautiful low test bar here as well. That's something I'm going to talk about in a moment. And, great trade result because of that, okay? And actually, you can tell this was in 2024 because look at where the price of gold was, okay? Look at that, 2,300, okay? Where is gold right now? 4,800, okay? Double where it was then. Let me know in the chat box, by the way, how many of you guys invest in gold? Yeah, good on you, okay? Keep hold of it. Keep hold of it. It will not surprise me if gold reaches $6,000, okay? It will not surprise me. Right now, it's such a brilliant time to be alive. There's a lot of money being made, okay? Awesome times, okay? And here are, again, just another handful of clients who I've been working with over the last 12 months or so. And it's good to see a different variety here. You got Natasha at the top there. You got Vincenzo. You got Navneet. You got Martin there. You got Ryan. You got Kevan. You got Hardeep there. You got Nilesh. You got Charlie up there. You got Gina. Okay, you got Anna there. When you look at some of these clients who I've been working with over the last sort of 12 months or so, is there anything that kind of stands out to you about them at all? No, just normal regular people. Okay, just regular everyday people. And people ask me, Gerdas, is it only older people, mature people that come through the program? I said, look, most of our clients are between the ages of 40 to 70. Okay, that's the vast majority of our clients. However, the youngest person coach is 18 years old. Their parents actually put him through our program so he could trade whilst he was at university. They didn't have a particularly big target, it was make 100 quid a week. Okay, but I still think £400 a month, I think, is very good for a university student. Would you guys agree with that? Okay, and the eldest person I've ever coached is 87 years old. So never too young, never too old. The most important thing is starting. And one of my biggest realizations was when I was on the trading floor at 20 years old, okay, a lot of the other traders thought, hang on, if that person can do it, I can do it as well. Okay, and some of you guys might see yourself in these people. You might think, oh, do you know that Trevor guy down there? Okay, that Trevor looks like he could be a mate of mine. Bloody hell, if he can do it, I can do it as well. So you guys, all of you can do this. You just need to be shown. Okay, now here is Dr. Alex. He started with us back in 2007, so quite a long time ago, and he basically wanted to be able to have a particular target that he wanted to achieve. Now he, again, he's quite successful already. He's a GP, does quite well for himself, and a lot of people I meet, just like you guys here, have great careers, businesses, been doing what we're doing for 20, 30 years, but perhaps kids are now much older, fled the nest, and they want to get the teeth stuck into a new challenge. So he had a very specific goal. Have a listen to him.
Exceptional. And of course, the interesting thing is you started off with Greg back in what, 2007? 2007. And now you're in the position where how much what was the amount you paid off in your mortgage in December?
359,000.
359,000, and entirely from trading.
Yeah. My wife advised to take from trading account this amount and pay off mortgage because remortgage happened and fees went up and everything, and it was good time to pay off mortgage, still leaving me something for trading, and mortgage is paid and family is secure.
Yeah, but that's the importance of setting targets, isn't it? Because your wife was right there. Once you've achieved your target, go and tick it off. Okay, because otherwise that's where the greed factor starts to kick in.
Yeah,
and
nobody knows. New war happens or whatever, account burst or yes, like the Swiss franc happened some years ago. Yes,
oh, look, congratulations for that, Alex. That's really amazing to hear. Okay.
And it's quite nice that his partner helped to not get too carried away, because do you think it's quite easy to get carried away? Yeah, very easy, okay? How many of you invest in crypto, for example? Yeah, a few of you do, so do I. Now, one of my students, he did really well from XRP, okay? And he had a target that when it gets to a certain point, he would sell some, put down a deposit for a house, which he did. And then several months after, XRP had another run, for those of you who remember. And he kicked himself. He said, oh, Gerdas, I should have stayed in. I could have made even more. I said, you cannot think like that, Ryan. Okay? You set yourself a target and you achieved it. Now set a new one and focus on that instead. And that's so important, to make sure that you have tangibility, you have a context, you have an anchor for the reason why you're doing it in the first place. Because otherwise, if you don't have a very specific focus, you just get carried away. And in fact, a lot of students have come to us recently, they've made an absolute fortune by accident. They come to me saying, Gerdas, I've accidentally done really well out of the stock market. Okay, because in the last, if you look at the stock market last few years, it's just been shooting up. It's just been skyrocketing. And people have come to me and say, Gerdas, I invested in Rolls-Royce, Palantir, Nvidia, I've done really well, and now I'm getting a bit scared because I feel like there's going to be a bit of a crash, or there's like a bit of a bubble. what the hell do I do? And that's why it's important to make sure you have a focus as to why and what you're doing. Because here's the thing, who is going to be the only person that's going to make you wake up on Monday morning and turn your laptop on to trade the German stock market at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday? It's yourself, okay? You're not going to have a boss when it comes to this, okay? You're not going to have someone tell you what to do. You have to do it. And none of us trade because we have a fascination with fluctuating exchange rates, okay? It's not because a bunch of red and green bars on the screen. It's because we have certain aspirations that we're trying to achieve. So a lot to focus you and do an exercise with you that someone did with me when I first started. I think it's helped me get to where I am today. I'd like to share it with you. And this is also going to ensure how you're going to stick to your plan 100% of the time. So what I would like you to do is grab a fresh piece of paper on your notepads at home, and I'd like to draw a line in the middle. Now on the left hand side, I would like you to write down 3 things that you would like to add to your life, okay? So what 3 motivations, what 3 things would you like to add into your life? And also, if you can, next to each one, try and calculate how much money per month you need to make to also achieve that. Because as human beings, we do like dealing with numbers, okay? If someone says to you, you know, at the start of the year, everyone's always looking to get fit and healthy. If someone says, oh, just move around more and eat more healthy, it's a bit vague, it's a bit ambiguous. But if someone says to you, you know, do 10,000 steps a day and create a 400 calorie daily deficit, oh, I could probably approach that in a bit more of a calculated fashion. So think about what you'd like to achieve and how much money you'd like to you need to make to achieve that particular goal. And also, I think it's a nice time of year to set these goals, by the way, because what time of the year do most people normally set their goals? January, okay? However, how long do most people's New Year's resolutions last for? January. And then people forget about that very quickly. Think about, we're now in the middle of April. Okay, I'm not sure about you, but I feel this year's flying past. And most people have probably forgotten what their goals even were. Now, the reason why people forget the goals very quickly at the start of the year is because they haven't made any immediate progress towards them. And the reason why there's no immediate progress being made is because more often than not, they're still doing the same things they were doing on the 31st of December. And that's why every year ends up being the same. If you look at this year, if you look last year, most people, they made the same money they made the year before that, and the year before that as well. And the question I'll ask you is, are you still doing the same things that you were doing 4.5 months ago? Because if the answer is yes, then this year will be the same, unless something changes, and that comes down to the action that you take today. Now, as well as what you want to add to your life, it's also important to think about what you don't want as well. So these are 3 things you want to add into your life, but what is it you do right now that frustrates you, that you put up with, that you no longer want to tolerate? And I guess this focus is more on the pain than it does the pleasure, because when in life do most people take action in the first place? When they're in pain, when their back is against the wall, when they hit rock bottom. And when is that time? Normally when someone loses their job, or they lose their business, or circumstances change within their families. There's a big divorce, maybe someone passes away unexpectedly. Most people always take action at the very last moment. Now, is it ideal to wait until it's too late before you take action? No, but everyone does. And I've always wondered, why do people do that? And then I found the answer. And the answer is because everyone is too comfortable. Everyone's within their own comfort zone. I don't know any of you guys individually yet, but I make the assumption that you guys are very comfortable, and you'll probably be comfortable for the rest of your lives because you know how much money is coming in each month. You know how much money is going out. Most people work very hard and live within their means. You know you can wake up tomorrow, it'll be Sunday. Life will be perfectly okay for you, I'm sure. You know that in April next year, life will be okay then as well. But if life's okay, there's no urgency or need to do anything else. So I realised rather than waiting to get too late for me, it's much easier to bring the pain to me. Fast forward that process. The more I focus on what is painful in my life, the quicker I move away from it. rather than brush it on the carpet, ignore it for 10 years. So for me, one very painful thought was, what if I turned 30 and I could not look after my parents financially? Because I thought by the time I turned 30, my parents would be in their 70s and there's only so much time they can do what they're doing. So for me, putting a timer against myself really helped. So think about what's going to really inspire you, but also what's going to create that urgency as well. Because otherwise, it's very easy for tomorrow to roll into the next day, to roll into the next, and before you know it, another 3 years has gone past and everyone's in the same position. And people ask me what kind of things kept me motivated over the years. I'm happy to share them with you. One of my goals was related to my parents. Okay, I want to help them pay the mortgage off. Okay, I'm the only son in the family. I've got 3 sisters, and my parents always said to me, son, in our culture, the daughters, they marry into the husband's family. Okay, the daughters marry to the husband's family. It's the son's job to look after mum and dad. Okay, so I thought, right, I've got some pretty big responsibilities. Okay, I also wanted to travel. Okay, because until I was 19, I had gone abroad a total of 4 times. Okay, and each time was to India for the summer holidays. Okay, we didn't travel anywhere else. Okay, we couldn't afford to. I was born in Luton, by the way. Let me know if you guys live in or around Luton. My parents worked in the Vauxhall factory for 42 years. Okay, so I grew up in a very normal, average, working class background. Okay, we didn't go to the Floridas and the Spains and the Greeces. Okay, I wanted to see the world. For me, that was very exciting. And I also wanted to treat myself as well, because one of the things that I do love, that I'm very passionate about, is anything extremely fast with an engine in it. Okay, and I wanted to be able to treat myself to my dream car. And what do you think that was? Yeah, I not an Aston Martin. Okay, good one. I always want to have a Bentley. Okay, that was the first one that went on the list. Okay, it was also my granddad's favorite. You see, he said to me, son, in this country, when you do well, you buy a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. Okay, so one of those went on the list. So I had different things that kept me focused, not just in the near term, but the medium and the long term as well. And so think about what's really going to propel you. And touch wood, that's what trading has helped me achieve over the years. My parents don't have a mortgage anymore. Okay, don't have to worry about money. It's not even a conversation. I wanted to travel, so from having not really travelled much, I slowly started to tick off different places around the world. Okay, Santorini, Sydney, Ghana, the Arctic Circle, Sri Lanka, New York, Boston, Venice, Cape Town, Canada, Singapore, Courchevel. And for me, and most of them I've also traded from as well. And experiences, seeing the world, for me, that's something that keeps me really excited about life. And also want to be able to treat myself as well to the dream car. So what I did for my 26th birthday, which was a very long time ago now, I'm now 39, I went to the Jack Barclay showroom in central London in Berkeley Square, and I collected my black Continental GT, which I was extremely proud of at the time. And another great quote here: if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. So think about what's really going to motivate you and propel you. And as soon as you start feeling comfortable, because to be fair, in this country, it's very easy to get comfortable, isn't it? As soon as you get to that zone of comfort, think about something that's going to snap you outside of it and push you further. And unfortunately for me, there's someone very special in my life that keeps me on my toes, and that's my very demanding 2-year-old son, who also likes things that make a loud noise, that go pretty fast as well. Okay, so think about what's going to really propel you. Is it your family? Is it a bucket list? Is it something that you've always just want to have a personal sense of achievement with? What's going to really propel you? Because there's no strategy in the world that's going to make you excited to turn your laptop on. It's what we're able to achieve as a result. Okay, now speaking of strategies, let's now talk about the second one, which is the T-Wave. Okay, now this is a brilliant strategy used on the currency market, and currency market is open 24 hours a day, and it's the biggest market in the entire world. And the great thing about it, it's a very simple market to understand, because there's only 2 things that actually cause the currency to move, and those 2 things are fear and greed. Okay, take a moment, by the way, to appreciate my choice. Thank you. To appreciate my choice of imagery. Okay, I was quite proud of myself when I came up with this slide. I think I made the right choices for each character. Okay, what do you think? Really simple. When a country's doing well, people and governments, they love investing into those countries. Okay, as a result, the currency goes up in value. If a country is not doing very well, investors leave. Assets get sold off, the currency devalues. It's what we call economic sentiment. How confident does the global economy feel about investing in that country right now? And that's why we're all over it. Every day we look at the charts, news, politics, look at all that information, create trade ideas. And the great thing is it doesn't matter which way the markets move, whether the markets are ranging sideways, whether we're in a period of prosperity, or whether we're in a downtrend. It makes no difference which way the market actually moves. Now, is it useful as a trader to be able to make money in either direction? Yes or no? Yes, absolutely, because it means our income is recession proof. It doesn't matter what happens out there in the economy, our income is unaffected, which I think is very useful for a lot of people in this country right now. Earlier on, I asked you to write down why you wanted to trade, and I noticed that a lot of people wanted to look for a lot more security and a lot more independence, especially right now, because how is the British economy doing at the moment? Yeah, a bit uncertain and a bit unstable. And a lot of people are getting quite frustrated. Where's the economy going? What's going to happen with Labour in charge for another 3 years? How is it going to affect my livelihood, my business, my future prospects? A lot of people are getting very concerned, especially because the rest of the world is not giving people a lot of confidence either. If we look at the European economy, they got their own concerns. Okay, people are nervous about what Trump might do in May. Okay, so right now the global economy is in quite a big mess. And that's why people are looking to take the security into their own hands, because ultimately, who is the only person that can control your future in the first place? It's yourself. Okay, and that's why people have a backup plan, a safety net. People have at least one income stream that's not tied to the economy, because one thing people do not want to do is leave their entire future in the hands of their boss, and they don't want to rely on the government either. They want to have that control themselves, and that's why people come to us, because it's nice to not have to worry about whatever happens out there. Because if we did go into a global recession, and by the way, do you think there could be a recession? Yeah, it's about to start. We'd make more money anyway. We make more money. We have a saying in the industry is that markets tend to go up by the stairs. They go up by the stairs and they jump out the window. So markets fall, please write this down, 3 times faster than they rise. And that's the reason why during a recession, we make 3 times more money. That's the reason why during the Brexit night, the pound fell 2,000 pips in one evening. Okay, do you guys remember that? Yeah. Were you trading it? You could have, okay? This is not reserved for just a few thousand traders in those tall buildings in Canary Wharf and Wall Street. You can do this too. The most important thing is you can do it. But are we taught financial skills at school? No. And that's why at a time like this, it's always the wealthy that get wealthier, whilst the average person suffers the most. Now, what is it what the wealthy do? How do they see the world at times like this compared to the average person? Let me explain. Now, when it rains outside, is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? It's a good thing, okay? Rain is an essential part of the environmental cycle, okay? When it rains outside, we know everything's working properly. If you're a farmer, you need it to rain, okay? Now, when the market crashes, is that good or bad? It's good, okay? A crash is an essential part of the economic cycle, okay? It's very natural and very normal process, okay? No market just goes up forever in a straight line, okay? Markets go up for a while and then they plummet. They go up for another 10 or 15 years, they plummet again, okay? In economics, we don't call them crashes, we call them corrections. It's like the market's resetting itself. When you reset your mobile phone or your laptop because it's running a bit funny, it becomes it runs a lot more efficiently, okay? And when we're in that time period, we're so lucky to be in that time period because that's where the biggest money's made, okay? And that's what people feel like they miss out on, are there's money making crises, okay? It's happened over the decades. If you go back to the 1980s, people say, God, I wish I was trading back then. missed out on that big time. Same thing happened during the dot-com crash. Missed out on that as well. Same thing happened during the credit crunch. I wish I was trading back then. So when do you think is the best time for you to start trading? Now, because what kind of things do we have coming up next? The next big financial crash, which is driven by things that you already know about. Okay, it's all of the conditions that have been created with what's happening in the world right now. Okay, and there's a few main driving forces by that. One is the conflict in the Middle East, which, by the way, do not think that because the Strait of Hormuz has been reopened yesterday that is the end of it now. Okay, no, this is going to last a very long time. We've got the US national debt crisis, and also the thirdly is tariffs. Do you remember those? Yeah, people seem to have forgotten about tariffs. Now that on its own was what was going to cause the next recession anyway. So all of those things is what's bubbling up in the markets right now. So we are expecting, quite a big economic recession. And obviously for us as traders, the more doom and gloom it is out there, the better it is for us to make money. So the more challenging the economy is, the better it is for us. By the way, let me know in the chat box, how does it make you feel knowing that it doesn't matter what happens out there, we can look after ourselves? How does it make you feel? So this is all the stuff that's bubbling up right now. And also check this out. Here's the other icing on the cake. The US stock market, as of yesterday, hit a brand new record high. So with all the calamity that's happening around the world right now, the US stock market is at the highest point it's ever been in history. Now, does it seem like the US stock market is reflecting what's happening in the world at the moment? No, because the global economy is in pretty dire position. Now, what do we call it when the stock market is overinflated compared to where it should be? We call it a bubble. And what happens when a bubble gets too big? It bursts. Okay, so we are expecting quite a mammoth stock market crash over the coming next 12 months. Okay, so you've actually chosen a brilliant time to actually start your trading journey, okay, which also coincides with the reason I'm actually here today, because I mentioned that Greg wanted to celebrate his 30th anniversary by trying something that we haven't done before. So I've been given the task to basically take a group of people from this workshop today to take part in something that we are calling the UK Fast Track Trader Project for 2026, okay? And the plan is that I take a group of you from this workshop, and there's over 305 of you in this workshop right now, and we want to see how quickly we can get you from where you are right now and get your skill set towards where you would like it to be. We like to document that journey and have a bit of fun with it as well. Now, you are going to have the benefit of having all the training, all the guidance, you'll have all the live streams, you'll have smart charts for life, and you'll be assigned one of my traders to be your one-to-one coach so they can check in with you on an ongoing, regular basis, okay? Now, let me know in the chat box how many of you would love to take part in that project. Let me know in the chat box right now. Okay, all right. I don't think I've seen a better response to a question I've asked so far today, okay? That's awesome, okay? Now, there is one requirement involved that you do need to stick to do part of this project, because you might imagine there are some things we're looking for from you in return to take part. So we are looking for someone that's very motivated, someone that's very driven, someone that knows that by the end of this year, I really want to be in a certain position financially. So we are looking for the right kind of personalities, as opposed to someone that just have a little dabble here or there, okay? We're not looking for dabblers, we're looking for just wholesome, regular, ordinary people that would like to be in a certain position financially. And it will open up the doors to all of you in this workshop today, because one of the biggest challenges that prohibits most people from getting into trading is the amount of financial investment involved to actually do it in the first place. And that's why they say that apparently trading, investing is only for the wealthy and the fortunate, okay? However, for the purpose of what we're doing, we're going to be completely lowering all barriers of entry so you can start straight away, okay? We don't care about how much money you do or do not have, we want to get the right kind of people on board, okay? And one of my colleagues is also doing this in Australia as well, and so we've got a bit of healthy competition going on. And one of the team called it the Trading Ashes. Okay, so let me know if you want to help kick some Aussie butt this year, because I think we're going to do it this time. Okay, and I'm actually going to give you lots of resources to take away today to actually get started on that journey. In fact, I'm going to give you the entire e-learning study portal of Smart Charts. Okay. Now, within the e-learning, there's about 12 different chapters. Each chapter has about 10 videos, and each video is anywhere between like 3 to 12 minutes long. Okay, so really high quality, bite-sized content to learn at your own pace in your own time. Okay, now they are still videos though. Okay, to be fair, I'm not the biggest fan of videos because I'm a kinesthetic learner. I'm a bit more hands-on. Okay, and by the way, if you're outside of the UK, you can still take part in this, okay? It's just the UK team that's going to be running it, all right? I'm not the biggest fan of videos because you can't answer video questions. That's by the way, YouTube doesn't work, okay? YouTube can't show you what to do. I got to be with someone who's actually showing me. So that is the reason why I've organized 3 entire days of live training that you'll be able to spend with me and my entire team, okay? So we are going to spend 3 days together going through the learning and the application. We're actually going to get hands-on and do it together from start to finish, okay? I'm going to give you the dates for that in a moment, all right? But there's a couple of chapters I like to jump straight to, okay? So chapter 5, module 5 for the phase changer, chapter 5, module 6 for the T-wave. Now, these are the currency strategies amongst the others that we have, because I had to think, and if there's a few strategies that I would look at, there would be the T-wave, there would be the phase changer, and there'd be the breakfast breakout. Okay, those would be the 3 that I would utilize. Now, how these strategies work is a little bit different because we're looking for trend continuation. So what we're looking for is how markets breathe. Okay, so what we're looking for is we're expecting markets to breathe out. Okay, well, let's clear that. So what we're looking for is, in this particular instance, we're looking for cyclicity. We're looking for markets to breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and so forth. You'll also find in the downtrend, okay, we see this happen. Now, we always want to trade in the direction of the trend, okay, so we want to be getting in at these points here, okay, taking a bite out of it to go long. We don't want to get an extension, we wait for the pullback. We want to get in here, take advantage of that, take a little bite out of it. Does that make sense to everyone, yes or no? And in the downtrend, what we're looking to do is looking to go short. Okay, so we're looking to take advantage of there and take advantage of that movement down. Wait for the market to pull back up, go short, look at this point here. Now, there are certain bar patterns and candlestick formations that help us understand when to be getting into the trade. In fact, one of the bars that I subtly highlighted earlier was something called a low test bar, which looks like this. Okay, so this is where the price opened. Okay, that was the highest point it reached. This was the lowest point. That's where the price was driven down by the sellers. However, did the price close anywhere near the bottom of the bar? No, it's closed in the top half, almost where it started. Okay, so despite the price, despite it being a red bar, which is showing us the price has dropped, it was the buyers that last influenced the price to rise. So which way do you think the price is going to go next? Up. Okay, and this is how we can use certain bar patterns to help us to predict what's going to happen next. Now, this is an example of one pattern. Now, there are, please write this down, 10 different patterns that I look for to help me understand when to trade. Now, do you think it would be quite useful if there's a feature that would scan through every single currency pair on every single time frame, and when it finds a pattern of interest, it highlights it to us in a shortlist? Do you think that would be useful, yes or no? Yes, absolutely. It's what we call a pattern recognition tool. So basically, we've programmed Smart Charts to find certain bar patterns so we don't have to spend 12 hours a day in front of a screen. And I thought the best way to show how it works is by showing it to you live, okay? So I'm now going to show you how this works so you can actually see it with your own eyes, okay? So let me just share my screen again. Okay, this has been running in the background. So let's have a look. So let me firstly bring up a blank chart, okay? So this is what most people see, by the way. Let me know if you can see my smart charts. So this is what most people see when they look at a chart, just a bunch of red and green bars. You know, when do you get in, when do you get out? It's a bit like guesswork, isn't it? Okay. Now, if I click on where it says no strategy, you'll notice a strategy scanner appear on the screen. Okay. So, for example, what you've got here is the okay, you've got different strategies across the top. You've got phase changer, T-wave, breakfast breakout, pit prana, vol reversal, volley bounce. You're going to have different strategies and they all look for something different. Now notice underneath each one, there's certain currencies that are flashing and certain currencies that are not there. And that's because if a particular pattern is not being found, it would not be in that list. Now, for example, you can see here, there's on the T-wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 currency pairs flashing there. It's so much easier for me to spend one or 2 minutes looking at each of those 8 rather than spending 12 hours looking at thousands of charts. So this is going to save you a lot of time. And one of the words I want you to write down in the chat box is the word checklist. So we're going to teach you a checklist for every single strategy. So you will know once it meets all these rules on the checklist, we put the trade on, okay? So in terms of what that looks like in my routine, I'm an early riser. Okay, let me know if you're an early riser as well. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I do my meditation. I get to my desk at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's one of the best times in the day to trade, start of the European session. I'll spend about half an hour going through my currency trades, looking for potential setups. I'll then go take my dog for a walk. Okay, we've got beautiful forests where we live, and he requires a lot of energy to eat. He needs a lot of energy to be burnt, otherwise he goes a bit nuts. I get back in time to trade the breakfast breakout at either 8 o'clock, if not 9 o'clock in the morning. So my trading day is normally done by 10 past 8, if not 10 past 9 in the morning. Okay, if you want to be part of that 6 a.m. club, just write in 6 a.m. in the chat box. We can do it together. Okay, now let's actually have a look at some of these that are flashing on either the phase change or the T-wave. Can I have a volunteer, please? Okay, can I have a volunteer? Yeah, you guys can pick. Can someone pick out a currency pair that's flashing on either the phase changer or the T-wave? Okay, James. Okay, so James has gone for the pound against the Australian dollar on the phase changer. Pound Aussie. Okay, right, James. Okay, so James has gone for the pound against the Aussie. Okay, now James, imagine I'm you. Okay, so we're going to click on pound against the Aussie. There it is. So let's click on that. And what this has now done is it's brought up a bit more of an interesting looking chart. Okay, now without okay, yeah, that's a nice one. Now without going into any details at this point, what do you think we have an opportunity here to do right now? Okay, so there's a bit more going on, isn't there? We've got some lines, arrows. It looks a bit better than just being blank, isn't it? We have an opportunity to go short. Now, how do we know that? Well, firstly, we can see the arrows pointing down, not up. If you look at the area of the graph that we're looking to make money from, is glowing in red. And if you look at the buy and sell button on the right-hand side, notice it's the red one that's slowly pulsating. Can you see that? Yeah, the red one is the one that's glowing. So there's lots of visualizations to help us understand how to look at the chart. What our clients really love is the user interface. Okay, they really love the user interface of this. Let me know what you think of the user interface, by the way. Now, at this point here, James, if you didn't really care as to the reasons why it's a good trade, hit the flashing sell button, go through the 5-point checklist, put the trade on. However, would you guys like me to explain why this is a good trade to do? Yes or no? Yeah, it's quite an interesting one. Now, firstly, if you look at the chart, this is a 4-hour chart, by the way. So each one of these bars represents 4 hours. Would you say that we are in an uptrend or a downtrend? We are in a downtrend. That's right. We can see that quite clearly here. The trend is down. What helps with that is the yellow and blue line. Okay, they're called moving averages. Now, what's important is different settings use different strategies. The important thing is the order that they're in, because when the yellow line is above the blue line, it means the average price is rising. When the yellow line is below the blue line, it means the average price is falling. Okay, so not only visually are we in the downtrend, but mathematically the average price has been falling since the 14th of April. Okay, so that's really good. Now, we're also getting into the trade at the right point of the market cycle. Now, earlier on, I mentioned how markets breathe. I spoke about how they breathe out, they breathe in, they breathe out, they breathe in, and so forth. Have a look at this. You can see how the market's breathed out. You can see it's breathed back in. You can see how the market's breathed out. You can see it's breathed back in. You can see how the market's breathed out. It's breathed back in. Which way do you think the market's going to breathe next? Yeah, the market's ready to breathe back out. Okay, so we're getting into the trade at the right point of the market cycle. Okay, so that's what happens in an uptrend. In a downtrend, we look for the opposite. Okay, so we're getting into the trade at the right point of the market cycle. Okay, which is this point here. Okay, that's really important. So we've got the pullback ready to exhale. Now, there are also some important fundamental factors as to why it's a good trade, because when we trade currencies, it's always one against the other. So we're trading the pound against the Australian dollar. Now, when the chart is in a downtrend, okay, that means the first currency in the pair is the one that's weakening. Okay, so that means the pound is therefore weakening, and that means the Australian dollar is the one that's strengthening. Now, we expect the pound to weaken anyway, because is it a surprise to anyone that the UK economy is not doing very well right now? No, it's not a surprise, is it? In fact, we had some economic data that came out, and the British economy has grown by 0.5% in February. Okay, so not very good news at all. So the pound has been declining because, you know, our Prime Minister has not been focusing his attention in the places that he should be focusing his attention on. Okay, so as a result, investment has dried up, people have been leaving the country, the pound has been devaluing. Okay, now conversely, the Australian economy, on the other hand, is doing a little bit better. Okay, they're doing a bit better. They've been doing really well with their energy exports, and that's been strengthening the Australian economy. Okay, so there's quite a few fundamental factors there as well. So lots of reasons from lots of different angles as to why this is a good trade to do. Now, to put this trade on, James, all you have to do is hit the flashing sell button. So let me do it for you. So click, and it opens up a deal ticket. Okay, now notice we got our sell. Excuse me. Notice we got our sell entry, we got a stop loss, we got take profit. And again, you can see it here on the right hand side. This is our deal ticket. Entry, stop loss, take profit. Now notice these boxes have numbers in there. Can you see that? Okay, these boxes have numbers in there. Normally it's blank. It says 0.000, and you have to calculate everything yourself. You have to guess where to get in, where to get out. Okay, you have to guess it. You don't have to do that here because it's already calculated. Because the entry, stop loss, and take profit is where the blue, the red, and the green dots are. Okay, and by the way, if you're a bit geeky like me, let me know if you are, and you'd like to know how these things are calculated. We're going to teach that to you as well. Okay, it's really cool. The risk is automatically set to 2%, so it knows what 2% of my trading account is, and it will do the trade size calculation automatically. I do not have to do that myself. In fact, if I reduce that down to 1%, notice how the left hand, it automatically changes. You can see I'm targeting 51.9 pips, not 50, not 55, 51.9, and so all those parameters are already set. Now, to actually put the trade on, James, all we have to do is hit the green tick. Now, if I do that now, it will just remind me that the market's closed at the moment, okay? Because it's Saturday. But tomorrow night at 10 p.m, because that's when the market opens for the week, okay? Sunday night, 10 p.m, you put the trade on, you've got your entry, you'll have your stop loss, take profit. At that point, you can close laptop and carry on the rest of your day. Now, once the price hits the target, which will be at some point on Monday. It will automatically close without you having to be there. You get a notification on your phone that says, James, the pound Aussie trade that you did on Sunday night has been successful. 51.9 pips has been added to your trade balance. Okay, and that's how within a few clicks you can have a trade selected, all the parameters set up and automated for you. Okay, now do you think that you could do what I just did there? Yes or no? Absolutely. Did you also start to understand the reasons why it's a good trade? Yeah, with how in the downtrend, not an uptrend, with how the market's breathing in and out, with why the pound's falling, why the Aussie's rising, all those things you will learn about in great detail. But the most important thing is, whether you have a passion for how the car engine works or not, you'll know what to do anyway, which really satisfies the two types of people that do our training. The first type of people I meet, they love knowing this stuff. They find it fascinating how the fears of rising inflation can affect a central bank's decision to increase interest rates and therefore affect the valuation of a currency. They love knowing that stuff. I also have a lot of clients in the second group who don't care. They say, I couldn't give a flying toss about economics. I don't care about politics either. Just tell me when's a good time to get in, when's a good time to get out, so I can do this every day alongside my day job, so I can pay for some nursery fees next term. Okay, so regardless which group you fall into, you know exactly what to do, which is so cool to show you. And do you know what? When you learn this skill, no one can take it away from you. Okay, it gives you so much power and it gives you so much control. No one can take this away from you. It doesn't matter what's happening in the economy. You'd have to rely on customers. You'd have to rely on equipment. You'd have to rely on anything. Okay, the market's going to move every day, and that is what we're really grateful for. And yeah, you guys will smash this. And do you know what? It really gives you the ability to get any sum of money working for you. Okay, everyone's always got that weird bit of money. You know, they might have £1,000 or 10 grand or 20 grand. Now, that's not really enough for property, is it? So I'll just leave it in a bank account. Now, inflation is higher than savings right now, so that money is eroding away every year. What £10,000 buys this year is not what £10,000 buys next year, so people just end up spending it. Okay, and then, you know, crap, what do I do now? So the fact that you can get your money working for you is fantastic. If you put £2,000 in a trading account, you'll be looking to make £40 a trade. If you put £10,000 in a trading account, you'll be looking to make £200 a trade. If you put £3,000 in the trading account, you're making 60 quid a trade. If you put 20k in the trading account, you're making £400 a trade. So it doesn't matter what amount, getting that money working for you is really key, and it's great to share how it works. And also, by the way, you can see Smart Charts has back testing built into it. Okay, so for example, you can see there's an arrow here. That was a winning outcome. Have a look at that. Entry, and then hit take profit there. That was a winning trade. That one was a winner. That was a losing trade. That was a winning trade. So was this, and so was that. So if we look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades, of those 7 trades, 6 were winners, 1 was a loss. Okay, it's six were winners and 1 was a loss. Okay, so that again, really good ratio, isn't it? Okay, think about what David in Wakefield was doing. In his first 2 weeks, he had 9 winners and 4 losing trades. This week, when I was trading the German 40, I had 3 winning trades, 1 losing trade. Again, as long as you have that ratio and you just stick to the plan, it's so cool to show you how it works. Booking a coaching session is really easy. So you click on that tab there, you can book a coaching session directly with your coach, because each of you will be assigned one of my colleagues to look after you. And by the way, let me know if you'd like to have me as coach. Okay, now there is a handful of clients who I get to look after each year. So if you'd like to have me start you off, let my team know in the chat box, because I'll be more than happy to get you started. I can then pass you on to the rest of my colleagues after that. But if you want me just to get you going, I've been more than happy to take some of you guys on. So from today, some of you will actually be able to have Smart Charts for life. So your screen will look exactly the same as mine. And let me show you how that's going to work. Because look, as it says here, these strategies, they're just the beginning. You're going to have the other ones as well, Bolly Bounce, Pip Runner, Vol Reversal. This is what your roadmap's going to look like. So from today, some of you are going to have the opportunity of getting Smart Charts for life. Okay, you are also then going to spend 3 entire days with me and my team. Okay, so we're going to spend 3 days together. The first 2 days will be online, with day 3 being in person in Hampton Court. So 3 days together, first 2 days online, day 3 in person. So we're gonna teach you and get you placing trades and put it into practice as well. Now, after those 3 days, you're gonna do some trading in your own time, and that's where the coaching is gonna help you, because each of you will be assigned one of my colleagues, if not myself, to be your dedicated one-to-one coach. Okay, that's where we're going to help you in all aspects of trading. Now, do you think learning just stops after that, by the way? No. Do you think learning stops after listening to me for a couple of hours? No, learning is for life. Okay, and that's why every single day we do those daily live streams. 4 times every single day you can watch us trade. We trade live with full transparency in front of all of our clients. You actually get to do it with us. And every morning we do group huddle with my colleague Jason, who's a bit of a legend in the industry. Do you guys remember a guy called Nick Gleason? Yeah, of Barings Bank fame. Well, Jason worked 2 desks away from Nick, and when Hollywood were creating a film about that whole saga, it was called Rogue Trader, starring Ewan McGregor. They were looking for extras to play the other traders in the movie. Jason actually starred in the movie, basically playing himself. Okay, he started off his career in the 1980s in the London commodities market. You know, in the open cry pits where there were kind of all the shouting and stuff was going on. That's where he started off his career. When you get him down the pub, he's got some really cool stories to share. Okay, and we headhunted him. He now works with us. And I said I would show you the trading video, the trading diary that I did over the space of a week, because a lot of people like to see kind of what that looks like in real life. So I thought, let me record every single trade I do over the space of a week. So have a watch of this, because this is basically what you guys are going to be doing as well.
It is Monday, the 23rd of February, and here I am at the Learn to Trade headquarters in Hampton Court, and I'm going to do a video diary of the trades that I'm doing this week. So I'm currently in a UK 100 breakfast breakout. As you can see, it's broken through the upper part of the opening hourly range. So a little update, we are here in Hampton Court. We've taken quite a few trades. The UK 100 trade that I showed you has hit target, and it wasn't just me that took this trade, but we have a few people that have taken it. So say hi to the camera, buddy. Okay, hi. You took the same trade, UK 100 today, and here is the trade. Okay, on the UK 100 on his laptop. There's quite a few people that also took it. So let me come over to Jade. So hi Jade, how's it going?
Hello. Yeah.
Did you take this trade this morning with us?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here is Jade's trade on the UK 100. So the principle behind that is, thank you Jade, is we take the trade as it's broken through the upper part of the ceiling and gone on to hit target. And of course, when you do that trade here in Hampton Court, you get to ring the bell as well. So I'm going to tune in with you guys tomorrow. It is Tuesday, the 24th of February, and I'm currently in a French 40 trade that I shorted. As we can see, the price has broken through the bottom part of the opening hourly range, expecting the price to fall further south throughout the rest of the day. And it is Tuesday, the 24th Feb. I'm also currently doing a coaching session with one of my students, Lee. Say hi, Lee.
Hi, good morning all.
Okay, so I'll check back with you guys a little bit later on today. But an update on that French 40 trade I took this morning. As you can see, the price did not go further south and it went up and hit my stop loss. That's completely fine. We're not going to win every single day. Sometimes the market's not going to do what we want it to do, but we crack on and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, the 25th of February. I'm currently long on a French 40 trade. It's broken through the upper part of the opening hourly range. I'm also doing a coaching session with Oscar. Say hi, Oscar.
Hi.
Okay. So we'll see how this trade plays out. Update on that French 40 trade that I took. So did Oscar this morning. You can see the price broke out. It actually went sideways for quite a while. And in fact, it came all the way down to almost where my stop loss was, okay? Obviously nice and protected there. This is why you do not stare at the chart when a trade is running. You close your laptop, like I've explained many times, and you let the market do the rest. Morning, it is Thursday, the 26th of February. I'm actually in Hampton Court, and I've got my order on the French 40 this morning. So as you can see, the price has not triggered yet. We did anticipate when we did the pre-trade analysis this morning in the live stream that there was going to be fake out the downside, and so I've got my long position already on. It's not yet triggered, but my order is there, so I can actually walk away and carry on the rest of my day now. So once that triggers, it will automatically get me into the trade. And once it's the target, it will close out. So a little update from this morning's French 40 trade. As you can see from behind me, the price did break through and carried on rallying up to close out for a profit. So that is me done for today, Thursday, the 26th of February. And let's see how tomorrow goes.
Good morning, it is Friday, the 27th of February, and I'm currently in a French 40 trade. So as we can see, broken through the south side, so going short today after a rally of price action going up throughout early this week. So anticipate the price to fall further south. So I'll check in with you guys, see how this plays out.
I'm just going to give you a bit of an update with how the French 40 trade played out this morning. Okay, and it has gone on and hit target. So let me show you what's been going on. So there we are. So you can see I went short, the market pulled back, and then eventually went all the way to the take profit. If I click on the green flag, you'll see the details of the trade ticket. There you go, 27th of Feb, trade took 5 hours, 25 minutes. So if we look at that in relation to the other trades, so obviously on Monday I traded the UK 100, Tuesday traded the French 40, that was a losing trade, winning trade on the Wednesday, winning trade on Thursday, and winning trade today on the Friday. So what we are looking at there is 5 trades, of which 4 were winners and 1 was a losing trade. And Hunter, I think you're happy with the result as well, aren't you? So I'm looking forward to showing you how this strategy works, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
So let me know in the chat box if you'd like us to show you how to do exactly that, because that's what we're going to do. And actually, it was quite nice for you to see on the first Monday, there was the class in Hampton Court. That's where you guys are going to be as well. But we'll show you exactly how to do that. All you need to do is set yourself a nice goal. So think about what you currently make per month right now. Think of how much money you'd like to make per month. Subtract one against the other, and that'll give you a nice initial focus. So let us know whether that's an extra £300-400 a month to begin with. You know, it might be an extra £1 or £2 a month. Whatever that figure is, let us know, and we'll create a plan around it so you guys can start doing that. And I want to see you on that wall of fame at some point. But let me now walk you through how the fast track trader project is going to work and how to get this business up and running today. Now, I did mention that we're going to try to do something a little bit different compared to what we normally do, and it is to celebrate Greg's 30th anniversary of trading the financial markets. So I'm going to ask you to write a few things down in a moment, and also what you're going to see on the coming slides is what we also charge our clients. So you see how much it costs that we charge our clients to actually come through our program. And what I'd like you to do is, can you please ignore any of the prices that you see on the next few slides, and I'll explain to you what we're going to do today. Okay, let me know that that is clear and understood and that you're ready. Okay, so have your notepad and pen ready, and please ignore any of the prices that you see on the next few slides, and I'll explain to you what we're going to do. Fantastic. So step one, please write this down, is get your smart chart set up. Okay, so from today your computer will look the same as mine. Okay, so that AI scanner is going to go through all of the currencies on all of the charts, all the time frames, and it's going to highlight a pattern of interest for us. Okay, Where to get in, where to put your stop loss, where to take profit. That's all calculated by the software. You do not have to do any of that yourself. The risk management, that's already calculated as well. So the AI scanner is going to save you a lot of time every day. You're also going to have the complete e-learning study portal of Smart Charts, as I mentioned. So if you think that I've been good today at explaining stuff, wait to listen to Greg. Okay, very eloquent, very articulate. We have really talented animations team that bring to life a lot of these concepts as well. So for you visual learners out there, you'll absolutely love the e-learning study portal. Okay, you're also going to have all those strategies built in. So you do not need to be an ex-Microsoft programmer to get your trading station looking the way it needs to. When you log into Smart Charts today, because guess what? From today, you'll be able to log into Smart Charts. You'll see exactly what you saw on my screen. The algorithms, the boxes, the arrows, the indicators, the indicator settings, they've already been pre-configured. So as soon as you log in, you'll see exactly what you saw on my screen. So it's really helpful. You don't need to be tech savvy at all. Okay, you can use Smart Charts across any device, whether you're a Windows, Mac, Android user. You can use it on any device and also any size of device. When you use Smart Charts on a mobile phone, you get the same functionality as if you would do on an actual laptop. Okay, now that's very different to, for example, when you're using MetaTrader or TradingView. Okay, when you're using that IG on a phone, it's like half the app. Okay, have you guys noticed that? It's like half the functionality as if compared to on a computer. When you're using Smart Charts, you get the same functionality on a mobile phone as you do on your laptop. So when you go to the charts, you can see all the same functionality on a mobile phone. So you got the scanner there. Okay, you can see. So you can just go through the list. Okay, it's the same functionality that you would do on nothing's truncated. That's really powerful. So complete cross-platform support. You've got a whole host of other advanced AI tools that have not been scratched the surface on yet. So whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or an advanced trader, we take trading to the highest level. Your Smart Charts can be completely customized with your own templates as well, which is fantastic. And also what's going to really help you develop your skill set are those breakfast breakout live streams. So 4 times every single day, we actually put the trades on that we're doing that day. You actually get to watch us as we do it, okay? And we also explain why we're taking that trade, which is really helpful for your learning. We do it every single day, and if you want, you can tune into every single one as well if you like. They do get recorded as well. And also, you've got the, here we're going to say, his little screen recording of Jitan doing obviously the 9 a.m. one. Okay, it's got the UK 100 chart. So that's really helpful for your learning and also help build your confidence because you actually get to see what we're trading as we trade in front of you. So that is all built into the software itself. So as that AI scanner, you got the e-learning, you got the AI tools, you got all the cross-platform support, and every day you've got those live streams you tune into. That's all built into the software. Now, once you've got the tools, step 2 is putting it through its paces. So if step 1 is getting a sports car, step 2 is being shown how to take it around Monaco by Lando Norris, because that is what we call Learn Forex Live. Now, this is a composition of live immersion training plus one-to-one coaching and ongoing guidance. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to spend 3 entire days together. The first 2 days being online, with day 3 being in person. Okay. Now, there are some very special dates I would like to write down for your diaries. These are the 3 days that we're going to be together going through the learning and the application. Now, can you please let my team know which one of the following dates works best for you? Now, I did mention that you can start straight away. And what I mean by straight away is the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th of April, okay, which is at the end of this month, okay, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 28th, 29th, 30th of April. You got the weekend option of the 9th, 10th, 11th of May, and you've also got the 16th, 17th, 18th of May, which is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So can you let my colleagues know in the chat box which date suits your diary the best, okay? First 2 days will be online, with day 3 being in person in Hampton Court. And just to let you know, if you guys do live in different parts of the world, we can let you stream day 4, day 3 over the internet in case that needs to happen. So if you can't travel for any particular reason to be in person, you can stream day 3 online as well. Okay, so yeah, by this time next month, you guys will be absolutely flying. If you can't do those dates, please let my colleagues know. We have other dates as well. So yeah, Naveed Chowdhury, if you can't unfortunately make it in person, you can do all 3 days online. Okay, now how do we break those days down? Now the first 2 days is we go through the ingredients and the recipe. Okay, so the first thing we do is we bring up a blank chart, okay, and show you how the market moves and what causes the market to move. One thing we don't do is just teach you how to press buttons. Anyone can do that. One thing we don't do is teach you how to use a piece of software. We explain why the market moves the way it does. So when crude oil does this, why does the Canadian dollar do that? Okay, you know, we actually go into the mechanics. So if you're one of those people that have always wanted to learn how this works, you're going to have your chance, because we're going to go through what we call a 6-step trade cycle. We look at trends, relative price, additional analysis, decision making, examining, review. The same level of analysis that a trader at a bank or a hedge fund will go through, you'll be doing, because these are all institutional strategies that we're using. So if you're someone that's always wanted to learn how things work, you're going to have your chance finally. Now after day 1, ingredients, day 2, recipe, day 3 is now the cooking. And this is where laptops get open, we're getting hands-on, trading live in person in Hampton Court. And here's what it looks like. Let's go hunting for some trades. Now, once we find a trade to take, we go and put it on together. Okay, we all put those trades on. The first 3, 4, 5 trades you do, we do them there and then. Okay, I remember feeling a bit nervous about placing my first trade. So if you feel the same, I'll come and sit next to you and we'll actually do it together. Okay, no one gets left behind. We're all in the same boat. And do you know what? Once that bandage gets ripped off and you put your first trade on, no one is stopping you after that. It's such an exhilarating feeling. Everyone gets a certificate to put on your wall at home. And on the last day 3 we did, the smallest amount of money someone made was £25. The largest amount someone made was 4,300. Okay, so everyone's in a different situation, but we're all doing it together. So it's real great sort of, you know, team spirit there. Okay, now after day 3, you continue doing a bit of trading in your own time. Okay, now I know what will happen. You'll probably feel like doing 7 million trades in your first week, but please don't do that. Just pick out one, see it through to the end. Wake up the next day, do another trade. Just go through the motions of adding it to your routine. I found early on that I prefer to trade in the morning. Okay, firstly because I'm an early riser, but also I like to know where I am by the end of the day. That feeling of satisfaction I get is what I enjoy the most. Okay, you'll get that feeling as well, and that's a great time to do your first coaching session. So from today, you'll be assigned one of my traders to be your one-to-one coach. So we'll help go through all your trades that you're doing, answer any questions you have, and we'll go do some more trades together. You'll go then trade for another couple of weeks, do another coaching session. Trade for another few weeks, do another coaching session. The whole purpose of having someone there to guide you is so you don't ever feel like you're by yourself, okay? And coaching also gives you accountability and it makes you actually do it. And it's through this step-by-step process that we sit with the tools, we start trading live with you, and then we coach you on an ongoing regular basis. Now, as you can see, we charge around about £16,000 for the entire program. Okay, so it's not cheap. Okay, if you want to learn to do anything properly, okay, it is an investment. It's basically like going to university for trading. Okay, and if you have any friends or family that would love to do our program, they can come back to us tomorrow. They can come back to us next week and do a regular program anytime they like. Because look, I'm sure for many of you in this room, putting tens of thousands of pounds into your trading business, I'm sure is not a problem for many of you. With the amounts that you said that you guys will be starting off with, I'm sure is not a problem. However, I do appreciate for some people out there, they might have to plan for this sort of stuff. Not everyone's got 20 grand lying around, okay? They might have to save up 12 months, 18 months to get the funds to do it, which is fine. Everyone, saves up money to get into business. However, I don't want any of you to have to wait 12 months or 18 months to save up the money to do it, because I want you to start straight away. And as mentioned earlier, we don't care how much money you do or do not have. We want to get the right kind of people on board. And I thought the best person to show you and to explain what we're going to do is Greg Secker himself. So Greg has asked me to play this message to you guys here today. Pay particular attention to what Greg is about to tell you.
Hi guys, it's Greg here. I hope you're enjoying your Lifestyle Trader virtual experience at our home in Hampton Court. And I want to thank our presenter Gerdus for leading today's session. This year is now my 30th year, if you can believe that, of trading the financial markets. And to celebrate my 30 years of trading the market, I have a very special anniversary surprise in store for you. So you've heard Gerdus tell you all about the Learn Forex program. It is our flagship program. We've been running this program successfully for over 23 years now. We've been voted Trader of the Year as well as Coaching Company of the Year for the last 17 years. We're very proud of what we have achieved, and it transforms the lives of everyday people all around the world to become successful traders. It certainly transformed my life 30 years ago, and of course I wasn't fortunate enough to have access to this program like you do. So here's my big anniversary surprise. I am sponsoring 30 people in celebration of my 30 years of trading, the entire Learn Forex program. Yes, you did just hear that right. Over £5,000 worth of trader education, which of course is about the knowledge, and then coaching, which of course is about the behavior change. Those two things together are very powerful. Of course, alongside those 6 incredible trading strategies, that is going to be sponsored by me for 30 people. So if you're one of those lucky people here today and there are spaces available, I hope you do take advantage of it. And so Gerdus, back to you.
So that is what I've been dying to share with you this entire session, okay? However, there is one requirement that you do need to stick to part of this project. So please let me know in the chat box if you're able to do this one thing, okay? You must be willing to allow us to track your progress, okay? We like to document your success just for the next 6 months, please. We'd like to let us know each month how many pips you collected, how much percentage growth you see in your account, and also a few words to describe your experiences, because with the information we collect from you, we are intending to use that obviously for our own marketing purposes to promote our services throughout the rest of this year as part of a fun, exciting new marketing campaign, okay? If you don't wish for your name or your face to be published anywhere, all we need are your initials, okay? So as long as you can stick to that one requirement, you can take part in our Fast Track project today. And what that means, as Greg mentioned, you get to do Learn Forex Live completely free of charge, okay? So you don't have to pay for any training, any coaching whatsoever. And guess what? We are going to help you out with the cost of smart charts as well, okay? You're not going to pay 10 grand for smart charts. In fact, we're going to let you have that for less than a couple of grand. And that is your entire and only financial commitment take part in everything I talked about today. That's the training, the software, the AI tools, the live streams, the coaching, what we charge 16 grand for. You get to do everything for less than a couple of grand. And with the money you save, you can put even more money into a trading account to get started as well if you wish, okay? Now, Greg wants to make sure that we cover as many bases as possible, especially if this now makes it a lot more accessible to someone who may be slightly out of reach, okay? So for any reason whatsoever, you can't quite stretch to 1995, but you've got £900, you can do the entire program minus the coaching, okay? So let my colleagues know in the chat box right now which option you would like to go for, please, okay? If you'd like to do everything I spoke about today, which is to get smart charts, the 3 days of training, plus the coaching that happened, the one-to-one coaching happens afterwards, you can do that for the 1995. Or if you want to do smart charts with the 3 days of training minus the coaching, you can do that for the £930, okay? By the way, the live streams, they're all included as part of smart charts, so you get the live streams as part of both anyway, okay? So, and what we're more than happy with, by the way, is if you want to add the coaching on later, you can always add it on later by paying the difference between the two. So if you only got a grand available right now, just do the 930, and then in a few weeks time, once you made the money, you can always add the coaching on later by paying the difference between the two amounts. That's absolutely fine, okay? Now, let me explain to you how we're going to do the enrollments, okay? Because there are 304 of you in this workshop. So there's 304, and we're only going to take 30 of you, okay, to celebrate Greg's 30th anniversary. Let me know how many of you want to be part of that 30. Let me explain to you how we're going to do the enrollment, because I have to keep it fair to everyone. Now, in a few moments' time, on my command, my team are going to send you an enrollment link, okay? They're going to send you a link to get enrolled onto the program. Let me show you what that looks like, okay, so that you guys are prepared ahead of time, because once those places are gone, they're gone. It's going to sell out very quickly. It's going to be like Taylor Swift tickets, okay? So when my team send you a link, this is what you're going to see, okay? So Smart Charts Pro, you know, There's two options to choose. So you pick the 1995 with the coaching, or you pick the 930 option. So once you've clicked on which one you'd like to go for, it will then allow you to choose the date of the training that you'd like to do. If you cannot do those dates, that's absolutely fine. Just pick one of them. We can manually adjust it later. So just pick one of those dates that you can do. Once you've selected the date, it will then take you to a little checkout page where you can put your details in and the card that you'd like to use to pay with. If you use Apple Pay, you can click on Apple Pay and then click, it pays it. Now, once you'll know that you're successful, because there'll be a thing that says, congratulations, you're one of the 30 people, or we'll say congratulations, payment successful. If the spaces are gone, it will say unsuccessful and it will say sold out, okay? So that's how you'll know if you're one of those 30 people. I've got my fingers crossed for you guys, okay? So that's how the process works. You'll get a link, select which date you'd like to do, and then put your payment details in. And if it says congratulations, payment successful, that means you're in, okay? But I want to show you ahead of time because it's going to sell out very quickly, all right? So you guys ready? Okay, I'm going to give you the link on a countdown to 1, all right? So guys, good luck. I got my fingers crossed, okay? Once those 30 spaces are gone, they're gone. There's over 300 of you here. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Team, drop the link in the chat box, please, okay? And good luck. There it is. It's in the chat box. Go ahead and complete the checkout. By the way, I'm gonna stay on just to answer any questions you guys have, okay? My heart is pumping, okay? This is awesome. Do you know, when Greg put this whole thing together and said what he's going to do, I thought it was brilliant, okay? Because this makes it a lot more accessible, okay? Because some people don't have, 20 grand lying around, but everyone's got a grand, or everyone's got a couple of grand, and that now makes it so accessible for someone who it would have been completely out of reach. And I thought it was a really nice way for him to celebrate his 30th anniversary. Okay, so I know you guys are busy doing the checkout. Okay, you guys concentrate on that. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the chat box. Okay, if you have any technical difficulties, again, just please let me know in the chat box. And my team, I've got a team of 20 people, by the way, behind the scenes who are here to help. And by the way, once you've checked out successfully and it says congratulations, payment successful, come back into the in the chat box and just let me know that you're in, and I'll formally welcome you. So this is cool, man. I'm so excited. Everything I did this week with the breakfast breakouts, with the German 40 yesterday, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that thing, because we're all going to be doing it together. And whilst you guys are checking out, let me explain to you what's going to happen. So once you've clicked on the link, selected whether you want to go for the 1995 or the 930 option, and then once you've completed it, you get a confirmation. You'll get a follow-up email, and then one of my colleagues is also going to do a pre-course setup with you. So you'll get a welcome call from one of my colleagues. They'll help you sort of log into Smart Charts. So you'll be able to do that from today. They'll show you how to open up a trading account that gets connected to Smart Charts, how to access the learning videos, and also get you ready for those 3 days of training, which will not only be with my senior team, but with me as well. Okay, I'm going to be there with you on that journey, because I want to make sure that you have an amazing start. Okay, so okay, any questions at all? So Ian Baird has said that you got money that's in your pension and it takes 30 days to release. That's fine, Ian. Just check out for the 930 option. If you want to add the coaching on, but you only got 930 quid on a credit card or a debit card, just do the £930, Ian, and then my team can always help you add the coaching on later once you've released some money. That's absolutely fine. Just get yourself checked out and get going. And by the way, this next week is going to be phenomenal. With the Strait of Hormuz being opened up, the markets are already flying. Okay, this is such an exciting time to be alive, and you guys will absolutely smash it. By the way, let me know in the chat box any questions you have. Let me know. How long do we have access to the live streams? For life. We do those breakfast breakout live streams every single day. So you can be glued into those. You can watch us as we trade live in front of you, just like we've been doing every single day this week, 4 times a day. So you can tune into that. How do you open up a trading account? So we work with different brokers around the world, regulated. Okay, so in the UK, they need to be regulated with the FCA. So once you have a trading account all open, it will get connected to your smart charts. So you'll be able to place your trades through smart charts with this selected broker. That's really easy. It takes 2 seconds to open up a trading account. Okay, good stuff. Emanike, lovely stuff. Only one of Greg's 30. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Okay, it's learning how to do this in such a support environment is what makes all the difference. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, the hardest thing is never the understanding; it's pressing the button, and that's why we do it with you. It's why we hold your hand. It's why we talk about things, and you can tell. It's very easy for us to explain how it all works. Okay, it's so easy to explain how it works and go through the motions because we're doing it every single day ourselves. Okay, that trading vlog that I did where I showed you Monday to Friday what I was doing, that's what you guys are going to be doing. Okay, whether you've got dogs running around in the background, that's up to you. Okay, but and some of those days I was in the office, some of the days I was at home. Okay, it's so good for you to see trading in that sort of natural environment. Okay, you guys can do this. And again, if you're on the if you have any questions, if you're on the fence, let me know, because here's the thing. Okay, the market doesn't wait for anyone. Okay, so things will only change and happen if you actually make them happen. Okay. Okay, Peter Cunningham, does Barclays Smart Investor with AJ Bell work? No, that's more of a traditional stock trading account. So you want to have, once you've got your smart chart set up, it will take you through a link to open up a trading account with Intertrader. So they're regulated by the FCA. That's the people that we use in the UK. If you're abroad in America, we use Awanda, Australia, Capital.com. There's different brokerages that we work around the world. Again, they have to be regulated because it's the proper way of doing things. Okay, awesome stuff. And you know what? If the last few years have been challenging for you, this could be your time. Okay, start small, build your confidence. Okay, and get going. Edward, will this offer be available at the end of the month? No, it's going to go today. Okay, again, I'm not going to sort of disturb my team because they're helping you guys with your enrollments right now. Put down. By the way, if you can't pay in full, okay, can you put your phone number down in the chat box? Okay, so if for any reason you don't have, because I know when you do the checkout, it's the full amount, right? Either the 1995 or the 930. If you need to move some money around, can you put your phone number in the chat box right now? And what I'll do is I'll get my team to manually call you, and they'll take a smaller amount down as a deposit. Okay, so at least if you do need to wait for payday, you can put a deposit down today, secure your place, and that way at least you're in. Does that make sense? Okay, but what I would recommend, I mean, look, we're talking about a small amount of money here. I appreciate money is a sensitive topic. However, look, we're in the UK. Okay, this is it's supposed to be one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Okay, I appreciate it doesn't feel like that, but we're talking about 900 quid. The amount of people that will say, "Oh, I can't afford it," or "I don't have money to invest," and then I look at their phone and they've got the brand new iPhone 17, the orange one. Now, if you got £1,200 to pay for an iPhone, okay, I think you can afford to invest £1,000 into yourself to actually learn the skill, because when you learn a skill, you get to keep it for life. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, Victor, have you checked out successfully? Okay, let me know. Victor, did you get when you completed the checkout page, did it say sold out or did it say payment successful? Let me know. Again, I'm not going to disturb my team because I know they're helping you guys all get set up. So to enroll, click on the link and it will take you through the checkout page. Okay, I know my colleague has sent you the link in the chat box. Okay, I've got my fingers crossed for you. This is awesome. And you know what? Any questions you have about trading, about what I do on a day-to-day basis, okay, let me know. Yeah, the breakfast breakout, it's an awesome strategy. Yeah, shows you how it works, and the fact that you've actually seen how this works live in person is absolutely incredible. Okay, yeah. So Ian, drop. Yeah, I can see. Okay, I can see your phone numbers in the chat box. So I'll get my colleague Dev or Crystal. They'll I work with them very closely. They'll help get a deposit down from you. If you need to move some money around, that's absolutely fine. You really want to attend our training in Hampton Court? Come on, mate. Let's do it. Okay. Things only happen if you make them happen. Okay. Things don't happen by themselves. Okay. If you expect that your financial situation or things are going to change by themselves, they're not going to. Okay. Yeah. If you want to make that change happen, you have to be the deciding force behind it. Because look, guess what? The market's going to move again on Monday. You know what I'm going to do on Monday. The question is, what are you going to do? You know, you've got to put some skin in the game, take action, but do it with professionals around you who can show you what to do, which is awesome. Victor, okay, so you're asking about paying a deposit. Victor, put your phone number in the chat box, please. Okay, put your phone number in the chat box, and my colleague will give you a call and get you secured. Okay, Peter, what percentage gets charged on the trade? It's all dependent on the size of the trade. So let's say, for example, you put £2,000 in the trading account, you're going to be doing 40 quid. You're going to look to make £40 on the trade. The transaction fee on that sort of trade would be about 80p. Okay, so please write that down. So if you've got £2,000 in a trading account and you're doing a 40 quid trade, okay, your transaction fee for you to put that trade on would be about 80 pence. Okay, if you got, let's say, £10,000 in a trading account, okay, and you do a 2% trade, you're going to be making 200 quid in a trade. Now, of that 200, you'll be looking to, your transaction fee will be about £4. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, Priya. Yeah, nice one. I can see your phone number, Priya. That's fantastic. One of my colleagues will help assist you with your enrollment. So, guys, if you have any technical difficulties, put your phone number in the chat box. I get one of my colleagues to manually call you, and they'll go through the enrollment process with you. Okay. So, yeah, Peter, does that answer your question? It's very small. So, if you're doing a 40 quid trade, you'll be paying about 80p for a transaction fee. Yes, it's not really stuff that we get too concerned by. Okay, you guys could have done it. All the trades that I just showed you. Okay, you guys could have done it. In fact, let me bring it up here again for you so you can actually see. And yes, that's awesome to show you. So let's have a look. Let's go back to. In fact, let's have a look at the Nasdaq. Okay, it's absolutely been flying. Okay, take a look at this. So if I bring this up, bring up my my screen. Yeah, so there we go. That's the Nasdaq. That trade's running. I mean, put it this way. That's £566. You know, you're looking at that's in one trade. That's not yet hit its target. Have a look at this trade it took on Thursday. Okay, this trade took 21 hours. Absolutely fine. Look at the details of that trade ticket. Okay, enter the trade on Thursday just past 4 p.m. and took 21 hours and 21 minutes. Okay, I don't care if a trade takes 2 minutes, 20 minutes, or 21 hours. Okay, winning is winning. Does that make sense? Have a look at this trade here on Wednesday. Okay, have a look at that, Wednesday, 15th of April. Have a look at the date yourself. That trade took 4 hours. Okay, by the way, I'm not anything special. Okay, if I can do this, you guys can do it as well. You'll absolutely smash this out of the park. And let me know. Do you guys want to learn this? Okay, do you guys want to do it with us? Because we'll hold your hand. We'll hold your hand. We'll get you stuck into it. There's plenty of people out there who just, hope that things are going to get better for them, but things only happen if you take action. Okay, if you got a SIP, if you got a SAS, and you got stocks in there, and you're getting a bit concerned about where the stock market's going, don't suffer in silence. Come and speak to me. Okay, we'll show you how to look after your investments by having that learning, having that guidance. Okay, that's what you want. You cannot teach yourself how to trade. People have tried that before. YouTube doesn't work. Okay, books. When was a book published? By the time you read a book, by the time books have been published, it's old news. Okay, there's no book that's going to explain what happened with the Strait of Hormuz yesterday. Okay, here we go. How many trades do I place per day? It depends on what's happening in the market, Ibra. When you're on the training, we'll go through all that with you. Patricia, are all the training done in person or online? So 2 days will be online, with day 3 being in person. Okay, so 2 days online, day 3 in person. And if you can't do the day 3 in person, Hampton Court, we will allow you to stream that on online. That's absolutely fine. Okay, guys, this is exciting. You guys can absolutely smash it. So when you've got your enrollments sorted, you'll get confirmation emails, and everything's all set up. But guys, look, I'm going to love and leave you. I'll leave the chat box running for the next few moments so that my team can assist you with all aspects of this. It's been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to speak to you. I think the team said there's 2 or 3 spaces left. Okay, so guys, these places are filling up. So there's 2 or 3 spots left. Put your phone number in the chat box. Congratulations for those of you guys who have successfully enrolled. I'm going to have a catch up with my team. And as you can tell, I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I could go on for another 10 hours, by the way. I can go on for another 10 hours. But yeah, you guys will absolutely smash this out of the park. Because look, if I can do this, you guys definitely can as well. What you got to do is take action. Okay? What's the worst thing that can happen? You pay 900 quid. You learn, you make a bit of money, and you stop. Okay, the best case scenario completely changes your life. Okay, so guys, get involved, be brave, get stuck in. Okay, everything I showed you this week, what I did, you guys can do. All right, 2026, this is going to be an exciting time. We're going to do it together. We're going to hold your hand, show you what to do. Tune into those live streams, go through the e-learning, and let's think about your goals. Okay, what is it you're trying to achieve? Okay, is it your family? Is it a personal sense of achievement? Is it something you've always wanted to do, but never quite had the confidence to do it? Don't worry. Okay, I've been there. 19 years to be doing this now, and you saw David from Wakefield. You saw John, the property guy. You saw Mandeep, the IT guy. Okay, all those people who I've been coaching over the last 12 months. Those guys can do it. You can as well. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I look forward to meeting all of you individually. Let me know what your goals are, your ambitions, anything I can do with my team. We are here to help, and let's make sure 2026 is the year to remember. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Any questions you have, let my team know. Let's make 2026 the year to happen. Thank you, and God bless. Bye for now.